This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon, good morning or good evening from wherever you are watching in the world. I hope you've all enjoyed Penguin Beach this afternoon. There were some penguins and I didn't actually know that penguins have more of a star-shaped pupil. This is new information for me. Always great to watch these guys at Penguin Beach. My name's Kelly. I'm going to be with you all afternoon for 4 hours. With me this afternoon on camera is the delectable Impala. Thank you so much. I've just stopped here on quarantine and I'm still giving a running weather report. It's still very confused, it seems. There's blue patches, there's dark patches. We're just going to have to see what transpires. We're all really looking forward to you joining us this afternoon. And best of all are your questions. So please, if you have any questions, send them through to us at #WildEarth on Twitter. If you are under the age of 18, please, we encourage you to ask all of the good questions. Send us a mail to kidsquestions@wildearth.tv, or you can register on the WildEarth website. Head over to the channel page and you can submit your questions there. It's still pretty warm here. There is a bit of a breeze, but these clouds are indecisive to say the least. See, there's a blue spot there, then there's some dark clouds. We had like 3 spots of rain just before we came out, but it stopped again. The forecast says maybe a bit later on tonight, but I'm going to stop trying to guess. Very pretty skies though this afternoon. The weather is often confused at this time of year, going into autumn, winter. It doesn't quite know what to do with itself, but it's much cooler than it was yesterday. I know that much is for sure. We're having a beautiful afternoon here. There was lots of impala who have just dropped down the other side of the crest there. We're going to be seeing some fantastic impala interactions very, very soon with the rut coming. We did see a big male here, and he's looking in fine condition. Although I think after spending some time keeping this huge group of impala in order up here on quarantine, he's going to be somewhat worse for wear. I think let's carry on. I'd like to make my way down to, I think, where Cedric left Mohawk this morning, sorry. I would normally say, oh, he's not going to move anywhere yet, it's been too warm, but after my learning experience yesterday, I have learnt that your lions here in Djuma can walk anywhere, anytime. So I'd like to go and see if he is where Cedric left him this morning. Forage Peace, I think it was. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you all with us. It's very pleasant here this afternoon. I was panting like a bird on a tree yesterday. It was absolutely brutal. This afternoon there's some nice cloud cover. It's still very warm, but there is just more air available today, which is lovely. I think we are going to have a couple of hot days coming, and then my weatherman at least is saying that we are going to get some last rain. So we shall see what we shall see. I might pop back to my puddle this afternoon. We've had a couple of very warm days. See how much that water's reduced. Jonah, no, I did not have pancakes for breakfast because it wasn't raining. And I now understand that we're only supposed to have pancakes when it's raining. I understand this now. I did have vetkoeks though. I hope you enjoy my pronunciation of vetkoeks. They're great little things. They make little mini ones here. They're stunning. Probably not very healthy, but that's okay. I'm now waiting for it to rain just so I can have pancakes, Jonah. It feels quite still. The air is quite still this afternoon. I think I'm going to go straight down. Ooh. I think I'm going to go straight down. I just remembered that termite mound I've been watching as well, but we've passed it. I'll check that tomorrow. I'm going to oh, there's a Steenbok. It's probably going to run away, Paul. See, we're starting to see these more now. They've always been here, but now the grass is getting shorter. We're able to see them. This time of year when they die back from the grass and the leaves, we're going to start noticing more and more of the smaller things. This is a lovely sighting of a Steenbok. That other ear must be tucked down there. I can only see one ear. Show me your other ear. I'm sure that other ear is facing backwards, but that looks very odd. Where's your other ear? Oh, there we go. Okay, still got both ears. Benji, it's so nice to see these little ones. All the little goodies that we miss in the summer. So we see, you know, we get more of the insects and the summer flowers and all our migrant birds. But lots of things do spend the summer hiding in the grass. Well, not hiding, it's where they it's where they are. But now we're going to start seeing more of these smaller things. This is a little female Steenbok. And these little Steenbok, they will cover their poop. I've actually seen it's a really nice sign to identify. When we're doing track and sign identification, it's one of those little dig marks. They cover their poop like a cat. And they normally run as well. They don't normally hang around, but has it heard something there? The breeze is picking up again. Hello. You can see these little Steenbok have got fantastic hearing, the size of those ears. And they also have those little black blobs beside their eyes, little preorbital glands for scent marking. So this is the Steenbok doesn't have horns. Hello, look at that peering through that little gap there up on quarantine. Lovely sighting of a Steenbok. All these little goodies are going to start showing themselves more now. Ooh, Wendy. Let's carry on, because knowing my luck, this lion will have wandered off.
think there's just so many wonderful things about elephants. And because they've got large space requirements, when you're conserving elephants, you're automatically conserving all the other smaller species that share the landscape with it. In 1996, my mother and I started drawing individual elephant ear patterns, so that's the margin of the ears.
Elephants Alive is a South African-based NGO that conducts research on elephants and works where elephants go. Elephants have taken us from South Africa to Zimbabwe, Mozambique and Eswatini as they forge vital corridors connecting protected areas at landscape level.
We've been going for 25 years, collaring elephants, developing individual elephant IDs, and we've also got a really big project where we protect large trees from elephant impact. And then we've also got various community outreach.
Our aim is to ensure the survival of elephants and their habitats and to promote harmonious coexistence between elephants and people.
Find a way into the kill to eat, get their fill in there as well. But they're also going to be told off. See, lions are not great at sharing their food. Okay, guys. Let me just taking frustration out on the other lion, but you see, it was interesting.
Hukamore. Oh, he is an impressive looking male leopard. Look at that neck on him. He just looks ready for a fight.
This is only the third time that we are seeing him that is known as the Hukamuri male, and he certainly has a lot of character and atmosphere.
This is gorgeous. Hukamuri having a drink at one of the little seasonal pans.
Isn't he absolutely gorgeous? Compact, powerful, focused. I love it.
Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our sunset safari on this gloomy day here in Djuma. And we unfortunately have some sad news to go with this gloomy weather. My name is Cedric Dold, and behind the camera we have got Owen, Odie. Today is a very sad day. We are sorry to announce that our beloved Tandy has been found lifeless. She seems to have died from injuries sustained. She was found with a large wound that went into her thoracic region. Sadly, she succumbed to her wounds. There are witnesses to the event, but we can confirm that we will no longer be seeing Tandy on our live drives anymore. We will miss all her antics. She was the reigning queen of Djuma, and everyone at WildEarth will miss Tandy. In honor of this amazing leopardess of Djuma, we will be having a fireside chat in the upcoming week. It is a very, very sad day for all of us. We have had fantastic times with Tandy. It's even put a lump in my own throat with this whole sad news that has come through to us today. But we have to enjoy the times that we have spent with Tandy on Djuma. I think she has given us one of the best sightings in the last 12, 13, 14, 15 years. She's given me since 2010, she's given me fantastic sightings. I still remember Tandy being so young at heart, coming into the area and really taking over an area that White Cloth used to have, and she really showed a big heart of a cat so small. But it's something that we all have to enjoy, that we had those amazing times with her. And I think at the end of the day, it is nature. Nature does play out to certain circumstances, but it is one of the most amazing cats that we did have in this area. It is a sad loss, but I'm just thinking about all the amazing sightings with her. I still remember the best one of mine was still on that fire break with that warthog. On a fire break that there was not even a blade of grass. Actually, there was just a little tuft of grass, and there was a warthog feeding, and Tandy was hiding behind this little tuft of grass. And this warthog would go in zigzag, busy feeding up and down, up and down. And Tandy was about 4 meters from that warthog, without that warthog even noticing that Tandy was busy stalking the male warthog. And all of a sudden, the warthog decided to turn in the opposite direction where Tandy was. And Tandy got up and snuck up so slowly to the back of that warthog. She got so close to the back of the warthog that her whiskers went to go and touch the warthog's genitals that was sticking out. And that warthog got such a fright, it just flung off and sped away like an elastic band. And I remember Tandy turning to all of us on the vehicle like a proud cat, saying, "Look what I can do." And she put that tail up like a scorpion, that real beautiful pose, and off she went. Just absolutely one of the most amazing sightings I had with Tandy. So yes, very close to my heart. I think close to a lot of people, a lot of viewers' heart. And we can just really enjoy the moments that we did have with her. But anyway, sitting here now at Treehouse Dam, and we're going to enjoy the scenery. Jules, thanks so much for your comment. Yes, it is. Rest in peace, Tandy. Rest in peace, Tandy. It's a very sad day, but we can only make the day better by finding another cat. Hopefully we can find Lalamba for you this afternoon. I am at Treehouse Dam where Lalamba was this morning, but I do not see any sign at the moment. We do have a couple of male impalas roaming around the dam itself. And yes, the day does look gloomy, but I think hopefully we can lighten it up for everybody and all the viewers. All right, after a bit of a moment of silence for myself and Odie, and I'm sure for everybody at home, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to just try and move up a little bit up Shabamu Road, head towards that area, and let's see if I can pick up on any tracks after Lamba. Well, let's head to Kelly. She's going to show you folks an absolutely fantastic and a special moment that she had with Tandy.
Cedric, that is such sad news about Tandy. I haven't been here long, but what a sighting I had with her. My only ever sighting with 5 leopards in one sighting. Tandy, Talamba, and her 2 cubs. What a special moment. I know Tandy is very close to the hearts of many people out there. Karula, Tandy's mother, was my mum's favourite leopard. And what a legacy Tandy has left behind. I'm just going to take some time, reflect. We can all reflect on these beautiful moments that this stunning leopardess has allowed us to share with her. Leopard lover, yes. She was a great mum and a bit of a gangster. Lynn. Oh, that's maybe a bit emotional. How bizarre. Yes, a very good mother, and how bizarre. That's making me cry. And really nice that she did get to spend time with her grandchildren. Thank you all so much for your comments. I didn't know Tandy well, but I have actually got to stream it down my face for some reason, which is very odd. So please excuse me. So thank you all for your comments. It just makes me realise how lucky we are for these animals to let us into their lives. It's a real honour that we've had an opportunity to spend time with Tandy. While I didn't know her as well as lots of you do, I've got absolutely no idea why I'm crying. Let's just remember the good times that we spent with this stunning leopardess. So please send all your comments in, all of your sightings that you remember with Tandy, and we will happily get through as many of them as we possibly can. Gosh, okay. Well, let's carry on then, I guess.
All WildEarth explorers have a chance to join our naturalists in a monthly fireside chat. This is a great way to learn more about our guides, animal characters, and wildlife locations. We would love to hear from you as to the topics that interest you the most. Email us your ideas or tweet using the hashtag WildEarth, and we will be sure to take them into account when planning our evenings around the fire in the future. WildEarth explorers, it's in your nature.
heart rate has gone up slightly. In fact, it's gone up quite a lot. This elephant is now 2 meters from us. Okay, we might have to move here. No? Yes. Sorry, my friend, but you're about to push that onto the car. You see how cross he was that we didn't want to watch him push the tree over. That's why we moved.
I was taught to track by my grandfather. His name was called Jack Shitola, the first tracker in Sabi Sand, with the first tracker to habituate leopard. Tracking is my favorite part of my guiding experience, because if you don't track, you would never find yourself having joy on the guiding experience itself. It's one of the best tools that you need to have. I'm being good on tracking because it's something that I've started while I was a young boy up to the adulthood. My tips to all new guides: we have to respect the wildlife.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm on Ngari Main at the moment. I'm still just heading in an easterly direction. I'm going to go up to Weaver's Nest and take a look around, maybe towards Twin Dams area, just to see if I can pick up on any tracks of Lalamba. It is a very cool day. It hasn't been too sunny today, so I think they have, a lot of the predators, leopards, and sometimes you'll find your lions even on a day like this will just move a little bit more compared to on a really hot day. I just want to see if I can see any of her tracks, but she did leave her cubs quite far east from where we are, towards Cheetah Cutline in Torchwood area. But please, if anybody's got any comments or any suggestions or any questions this afternoon, please send them through. Hyena D, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on our sunset safari. It is very, very, very sad news about Tandy for sure. But what will happen to her cubs? She hasn't got any cubs now. Cubs that needs assistance. Marips is pretty much her last litter, and Marips is now very much independent at 2 years old. So Tandy hasn't got any cubs. So luckily, in that point of view, there is going to be no cubs that's going to be lost due to her death. So yeah, but one thing I can say that Tandy has, for a leopardess, she has got up to a very good age. Arctic Circle, good afternoon. Thank you very much for the question. Will Marips know that his mother has passed? No, not really. I don't think he will know at all. He's become independent. When they become independent, they don't really rely on the mom anymore. And so, of course, he's not going to really know that his mom's gone. I mean, eventually he's going to be pushed out of this area anyway. So when he gets pushed out of this area, he will not really bump into his mother, even if she was still around. So no, he won't know that she's gone. But it was very interesting for me thinking about Lalamba coming all the way down to this so far south-western corner around here on Djuma Private Game Reserve. On the day, of course, finding out about Tandy's passing, it's very ironic that Lalamba really pushed so far after Tandy left. She's not here anymore. There's some things that we'll never know how leopards really kind of react and know things, and I think sometimes we just like to keep it that way and for their personal ways and understanding. But yeah, Tandy did get to a good age, fantastic age, really fantastic. I mean, coming up to close to 16. Not many females, not many leopards in general will get to that age. So a very good life that she did live, which is exceptional, and she definitely got her genes out there quite a bit. I mean, Tamba in the western sector, Marips this side, Lalamba around here. So her genes is really still going quite far, and which is fantastic for what she has achieved in her in her life. Not many females can say that. Megan, good afternoon. Thank you very much for the comment. Yeah, that's fantastic. You know, it's Tandy. I mean, if you know Tandy from way back when WildEarth started, you will know she was quite a little feisty girl at that point of time already. I mean, just like her mom. My mom was just as feisty as her, and it's fantastic, Megan. She did grow onto a lot of people. I think she grew onto a lot of people, you know, and yeah, we will celebrate her life. We will celebrate her life, definitely. I will, definitely. It's in my career, my 16 years career in the Sabi Sands, I think it's my favorite leopardess, as I told everybody, and I think that's why it's one of those things. It's immense, and yeah. Anyway, before I get a bigger lump in my throat, let me rather see if we can find Tlelamba somewhere here in this area. Let me head to Twin Dams. While we head towards Twin Dams, let's head back to Kelly while she's on a slow bumble through the bush in Djuma Private Game Reserve.
Well, I've recomposed myself somewhat. I apologise for that. The circle of life does go on. I've come to Chilapan, where Cedric had the delightful mohawk this morning, and I can't see a big lion here. I have come around to the other side. We do try not to off-road any more than we have to, but this grass is still quite long. I'm not super keen on picking my way through this grass that's way above my waist height, looking for a rather large lion. So I'm going to sit here for a minute, maybe spend a little bit more time reflecting, and see if we can't work out where this lion has gone by alarm calls. It's been quite overcast today, and these lions gave me the proper run around yesterday in the heat of the day, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if he has moved on. I'm just going to sit here for a minute and listen and see if we can't get any clues as to where he's gone. Otherwise, I will start circling the area and see if we can pick up on any tracks to work out where is Mohawk. There is a bird softly alarm calling behind me. But this lion could be anywhere in this long grass, in these thickets. There's still a nice bit of water here in Chilapan, actually. If I was a male lion, I wouldn't mind being here too much. I wonder what's happening with these two. I wonder where the other one is. Oh, Blondie. This is the lovely Michelle, who's just come to join us. Maybe he's picked up some tracks of Mohawk. Let's ask. I was just wondering if you'd seen any tracks for Mohawk, Michelle. He was here this morning. Cedric had him this morning. Have you seen any tracks on your way through? I'm just going to sit and listen for a bit, see if there's any alarm calls, and then I'll start circling and Yeah, I think maybe he's gone down that way. Just want to check for alarm calls. I wasn't super keen on picking my way through this grass to have a look, so I've just come round the back here. We shall start our search shortly. I think this would be a good spot for a male lion. White mane, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't really know where that came from. I didn't even know her particularly well, but I think it's the bush nature does not strange things to me, but not strange, good things. I think well, for me personally, and this is only a personal perspective, it makes me feel very connected with things, and it makes me humble, I think. This is my personal opinion. You know, humans can, you know, we think we know everything and understand everything, and actually we don't. We're just a blip in nature. We're just as lucky to be here as everything else is. And it really does make me realize sometimes that we are incredibly lucky. I'm very lucky to be a part of nature. I'm very lucky and passionate about what I do. I love to learn, I love to grow. And yeah, moments like this just make me appreciate things like that. So, as I said, if anyone's got any memories of Tandy they would like to send through, I will happily get through as many of them as we possibly can this afternoon. I actually remember a reserve I used to work in. I was there for 4 years. I was in Medicinal Game Reserve, and there was a big lion there called Kachala, which means the walker in Tswana. And I spent a lot of time with this lion. He would often roar around the lodge, and most mornings we would draw straws for who would go and track him, because he wasn't the friendliest lion. He never actually touched anyone, but his MO was to, if he did see someone on foot, he would come from quite a long distance, and he would stop sort of 10 meters in front of you, all roaring and mane and all the rest of it. And I normally allocated someone else that job. But he was 13, and, you know, I would see him every sort of every few days. We would spend time with him. We watched his behavior, we watched him age, and then he changed territories, and he went back to the territory of two of his sons, who actually accepted him back for a few days. I drove to the other side of the reserve in a pouring thunderstorm because I wanted to see this interaction with him and his sons. And then a few days later, he was found dead. And when you spend time with these animals, we really, really shouldn't, but it's almost impossible not to. And I remember our ecologist in the reserve, the wonderful Colleen, if you're watching, she saw him when he was a cub, and she spent time with him daily. And it's the circle of life, but it does make me feel very privileged to get the inside story and to get little insights into the incredible lives of these animals.
Over the past year, many WildEarth explorers have won life-changing travel prizes.
Today I was told I have won the most amazing prize to go to Maritaba. Oh, I can't believe it.
I am most excited to meet some of the guides.
The animals, the birds, and everything else it has to offer. We can't wait to go.
I would love to take my little grandson up with me on this experience to Funda.
WildEarth has brought so much to my life, and I am thrilled and grateful to have this opportunity.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to visit.
Thank you very much for this amazing prize, WildEarth.
Sign up to be an explorer today and you will be entered into a monthly draw which could see you jetting off to a dream location in 2022. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
Free Me Wildlife as an organisation is a value-adding service to the communities of KwaZulu-Natal. We are a professional wildlife rehabilitation centre. We work with compromised Indigenous wildlife, and our whole goal is to return these animals back into the wild as wild animals. To get involved with this initiative, go to our Facebook page, Free Me Wildlife. Alternatively, you can go directly to our website, freemewildlife.org. We hope you get involved, and thank you so much for your care and support out there.
But I think that's him. I think that's the one in Must. Okay, this is getting serious now. I knew there was going to be trouble. Too many bulls in Must. Over one herd.
Look at that, there's a tiny leopard cub. Kruger has given birth overnight. Look at the little guy, we just came around the corner. That is incredible, that's probably his first solo kill.
Oh, and have a look, here comes Hosanna with the monitor lizard.
Hosanna, of course, at the same time decided to go climbing up the tree. He's just nearly fallen out of it again.
Look at that, he's running away. The buffalo is chasing Hosanna at the moment. Run away from this very big animal coming. That was so funny.
I just want to have a good check down here in this drainage line. He could have gone anywhere. I think I'm going to go round to the other side. There is a female Inyala down there who looks pretty relaxed. There's some birds just alarm called on the opposite side there. So I'm going to pick my way back out of here. Let's do the same thing I did coming in, but now let's do it backwards. Just for fun. Tell me if I'm going to hit something big, Impala. It's just the big stuff I worry about. I wonder. Emma, there are a few bits of colour still. Oops. Sorry, Impala. There's still a few bits of colour around. I saw some zinnias the other day, a lion's eye. There's actually, I was trying to avoid it until I worked out what they were, if I'm completely honest with you. I've seen 2 flowers in the last couple of days. There's one little white flower. I've seen some couple of, I think, wild hibiscus, but it's not those. There's some little white flowers I've seen, and there was a beautiful little purple flower I saw the other day. I think the purple flower is probably from the pea family, but I'm still trying to work out exactly what they are. I've tried several techniques. I'm going to have to resort to asking my flower man soon. I have lots of backup if I'm struggling to identify flowers or tracks or birds. I've got a nice selection of people across the industry who are indeed experts in their field. So I might have to resort to that. So that was a really long answer. As usual, Emma, I apologise. There are still splashes of colour around, but not that many. I wonder which way Mohawk came in. If you know which way they come in, it gives you... No, that's incorrect. I was going to say, if you know which way they came in, you might know which way they went out. But I'm going to keep trying this afternoon. I think I'm going to send you back to Cedric in the meantime, who I think is trying to keep up with some go-away birds. They must have gone away. Okay, while Cedric keeps trying to catch his go-away birds that have gone away, I'm going to cross this Wati drainage line, I think. I think I'm going to stay in this area most of the afternoon. Patience is a virtue. I haven't had a nice big roaring lion for quite some time. And the only way to catch that is patience. I'm never going to say here again, oh, those lions aren't going to walk, or this leopard isn't going to go anywhere. I'm never going to say that again. Every day is a school day. I'm watching these clouds. Oh, look at those clouds over there. I can't work out if which way they're going or... See, there's little gaps, there's dark clouds, and you've got that gap. But they do look a little bit ominous. I think I'm going to try Vulture's Nest. And then come back up around Central. We know the rest of the pride went east yesterday. So I think I'm going to go up Vulture's Nest and then sort of weave my way back down. This light is pretty tough to track in. There's no light at all, really. Everything just sort of looks like gravel underneath me. But let's carry on. I might stop down in this drainage line, maybe have a look around down here to see if we've got any indicators. I'm not going to spend the whole drive talking about tracking lions though. You all know how it works. I'm just going to drive around and occasionally give you an update on whether or not there's anything happening. I am going to stay in the area because I would love a roar. I could really use a nice big lion roar this afternoon, as I think we all could. You would think that this nice deep sand in this drainage was good to track in. It's not. You just see splodges where feet it's going the other way. I think there's a lion track walking in this direction, but oh, this deep sand is difficult. You just see sort of like a splodge rather than an actual clear footprint. You can see something's been walking, but it's very difficult to tell what. Let's see, what's that now? I'm doing the lost lion lean again. It's actually easier to look from an angle than straight down when the light is very low like this, so I've reversed back. You're not gonna see that at all. I can hardly see it. I'm just looking for clear toe lines, I think is what I look for. Or the other thing that you can pick up in this light is that oh, there's a slender mongoose there. It's gonna run, it's gonna run. Stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there. I'm not gonna turn the car off. I'm gonna sit with the engine running. Wow, we don't normally get these on camera. Excuse me, I am gonna sit with this car running. Gone. Okay, that was cool. I left the car running because sometimes if you switch off or anything, it can disrupt. But that was a good sighting of a slender mongoose for me. I remember a little while ago, I think it was Ben. He had the most stunning slender mongoose sighting I think I've ever seen. Okay, so we're looking for a lion sleeping in the grass. I'm gonna carry on doing my lost lion lean, and let's send you over to Pridelands to see what JP is doing.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. We quickly went to go and pop in at one of the dams, as it was a number of different breeding herds that was approaching in Dwarf Dam this morning and this afternoon. So far, we've only managed to locate on 2 bulls, which is lagging behind and slowly enjoying all the grasses that is now in the area and feeding their fill. While there is still green grass, before that they have to start switching over to something like leaves for the rest of the winter months and other plant parts. So my name is JP LaRue, and behind the camera we've got BK. So just before we carry on with our interpretations of animals in the afternoon, I've got a little bit of housekeeping to share. And my little bit of housekeeping is we actually made an error this morning when we looked at a tiny little track that we found. We actually ended up following it a little bit further, and we actually discovered that it was our leopard cub's track that was on the ground and not that of a serval. Probably a kilometer further down the road, we actually eventually managed to find a track of a female to confirm that it was leopard. However, the surface was quite hard and it was quite tricky to actually see all the details on the track. And other than that, we've also had a quick glimpse of Lagerfer this morning, and she's doing pretty well. But for the moment, let's enjoy watching what our elephants are getting up to. Good afternoon, Nina, and welcome to the show. Yes, there's definitely something that makes them make you feel at peace. I just enjoy watching them. And this morning I was very fortunate. I was actually sitting at my tent having a cup of coffee, and I watched a whole herd of 30 of them coming down to come and have a drink. And that was probably one of my highlights of the whole morning. A few things that I can point out quickly is, as if they are feeding a lot of grasses at the moment, is watch how they pull out the grasses, and then what they'll normally do is they'll smack that grass against their legs or against an object, and then they get rid of the sand. And the strategy for that is to simply to get rid of excess sand that can potentially damage their teeth. I just love a way that they also use their trunk. In this case, this one has got another strategy. He's just simply breaking off the grasses and not taking the root and the whole part of the grass plant.
At WildEarth, our explorers are treated to a weekly newsletter, bursting with fascinating features and never-seen-before snippets. Recently, we have added some brand new sections which we think you will love. Find out what happens behind the scenes with our crew when they are not live on WildEarth. Have a giggle at our moments of the week from both Safari and Penguin Beach. And Ranger Eric answers your questions with fascinating and in-depth explanations as to the whys and hows of nature.
Wild dogs coming out of, or the puppies coming out of the den site making those very high-pitched noises.
All of this and more delivered to your inbox every week. So what are you waiting for? Head over to our website, sign up to be an explorer, and join the adventure. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature. Spinning around in outer space, our planet gives life to the human race. Every day when WildEarth is out on drive, we see our Earth's beauty. We see her alive. We need our planet, that is true, but our planet needs us too. WildEarth will be celebrating Earth Day on the 22nd of April with a special Safari live show.
Myself and Sebastian were looking for the Birmingham Pride sub-adults, and we just found them stealing a hoisted baby Impala carcass out of a tree. This is incredible. It's the first time I've seen one of these youngsters. Whoa! Quite a good chunk there. Nearly fell out doing it. She might fall backwards. She's actually lowering herself down the tree. It's the first time I've seen a lion do that in person.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm just going to see beautiful, I'm just showing you a beautiful African violet. Such a beautiful little purple or violet flower. Very low growing little flowers. And you can see a couple, there's another one here, but there's no flowers at the moment except this one. You'll find that the flowers are disappearing now due to winter is approaching. So we are losing them around now. While we sit here and discuss as well, a lot of you are asking about Tandy and how did she sustain her injuries. We do not know. We do not have any evidence on Tandy's way of sustaining any injuries. So we do not know exactly what happened at all. So just to clarify with everybody about Tandy's passing, we do not have any evidence on that situation. But anyway, while we sit there, sit here, now of course many times you'll find these African violets, if you've got a sore tooth, you've got like an ulcer or a nerve ending that's actually sitting out of your tooth, you actually take the African violet, the root, you dig the bush itself, and there's a beautiful long thin taproot that goes straight down. You take the taproot itself, you actually crush it. You can crush it with garlic if you want to, and you actually make a nice little paste from the root, and you actually dab it on the ulcer or on the nerve that's actually exposed. So what it does, it actually kind of it's almost like an anesthetic to the nerve itself, so you do not feel any pain, or also you do not feel any of the pain as well. So a lot of the locals use it as a traditional medicine to actually cure things like that. But it does make a beautiful little bush. You'll see a lot, especially in summertime, beginning of spring, middle of summer. These bushes, a lot of little bushes around here with all these beautiful little purple flowers that's on it. It's my favorite flower in the Lowveld, or in general. I love an African violet. It's a really a pretty flower. You also get the wild violet. The wild violet is a little bit bigger, and of course, it's a little bit higher. But the flowers itself is much smaller compared to the African violet. It's lovely. I really was very chuffed just to see this little flower, this little bush that still has 2 little flowers on it. African violet, really pretty. And now, what we'll do, I'm still on cheetah cut line. At the moment, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to move a little bit further north on the cheetah cut line itself. I did get Columbus tracks, of course, where she came out and headed west. So I do have her tracks going in that direction from this morning. So I'm definitely going to take a look further and see, maybe go towards Mamba Road. Mamba Road's just south of us here. Or we'll actually just go towards Central and work our way around that side. And we'll never know, maybe we find something else. I was really interested in to see if we can find some elephants. Let's take a look. Okay, get this out here. It's a lovely cool day. It's really, there's no wind at all. It's a very, very still day. All right, well, let's head back to Kelly and see what she can find and what she's looking for. I'm really holding thumbs that she's also going to pick up on something awesome.
Cedric, I'm also on my way towards Central. Are you following me? We keep bumping into each other. Stay on your own side. I haven't seen a lion footprint or a lion so far. I'm going to sort of weave my way up to Central, back down. And see what else we bump into on the way. I've actually just sent, I'm trying even harder to try and find out what these flowers are now, because I'm sure I'm going to see them. I know what I'm doing wrong. I haven't got a stick. I need a stick. That's where I'm going wrong. Well, actually, historically that hasn't really worked when I've had a tracking stick, so maybe not. This afternoon's weather really does trump yesterday. It was so warm and sticky, but yesterday it was there was good light yesterday. It was very strong light. The sun was quite high, but I'm really struggling to see tracks this afternoon. Maybe we should do a bird quiz this afternoon. I actually watched JP's animal sounds yesterday. Loved it. You should go and watch. Lola, I think you said, do the bugs come out to play in this kind of weather? If you did, then yes. It's much cooler, although lots of our bugs and insects, they're going to start, our seasonal insects are going to start disappearing. But, oh, there's leopard tracks here though. Yesterday, is it yesterday? We might see termites. Oh, that misty morning, I think. We saw some lovely termites that were active. Things like termites that don't do well in the sun or in the strong heat, they will definitely get more active in this weather. So I'm very keen to look for bugs in this nice overcast weather. very much a case of, I actually really enjoyed this morning. I didn't really have a solid idea of what I was going to do or where I was going to go. And if something called or caught my eye, I would go and have a look at it. It's actually really nice doing it that way. I should know by now, after all these years, the harder I try and force something, the less likely it is to work. So it's actually a really nice way to drive. Follow your nose. It really gives us an opportunity to listen to what nature is trying to tell us. That feeling of grounding, of being part of the bush, being part of nature, and just taking what we're given, immersing ourselves in the sounds, in the smells. I just got a waft of what smelled like elephant. I'm going to send you over to JP, who has indeed found some elephants.
Welcome back to Pridelands. We still have our 2 elephant bulls and we're watching them still busy eating. There's an interesting statistic that I read a while ago, and they reckon that on average, when it does come to ingestion of food, for an average cow it will be roughly at 170 to 180 kilograms of food. And that was converted into the total amount of baked beans that they would have to be able to consume in a single day to support themselves, and roughly came down on some 375 to 400 tins of baked beans that they would need to consume to sustain their nutritional needs in a single day. When it does come to weight, however, I'm sure baked beans has actually got more nutrition than grass. There's a few other things that I do find particularly interesting about elephants, and specifically their skin. And we find that the skin actually varies according to different areas and thickness. But on average, the skin is roughly some 2.5 centimeters thick. And as you can notice, it's also full of folds. And we often wonder why they have so many folds. And it's actually assist with cooling them. And they reckon that they actually can retain 10 times more water than an animal that would have had a smooth skin, and therefore the wrinkly skin comes in very, very handy. Over the last few days it's been also incredibly warm, and one of the things that I did notice about a lot of the elephants is that their temporals have been streaking, and we can see that there's a slight little residue of streaking taking place on the side of from the temporal glands. The first thing that I normally will look at if I am looking at bulls, if they do have a temporal secretion that's flowing, is also to make sure that they're not on must. And the real telltale sign is, I'm just going to ask Miko to quickly put the camera between the groin and the hind legs, is that you'll notice that the groin area will be moist and will be constantly dribbling water, and those hind legs will also be full of that greenish stain from the urine that they are dribbling. And you also can often smell them, and they really, really smell bad if they are and must. Very pungent odor. And a few things that I also do find particularly interesting is about the ears, as that the ears approximately accounts for some 20% of the total skin surface area for an elephant. And if you look at the back parts of the ears, as it's now turned to us, you'll be able to notice those veins. I don't know, BK, if you can maybe zoom in on them, if he does open his ears. And quite a few times we've already mentioned how this actually assists them to actually cooling themselves by fanning the ears forward or backwards, or simply standing into the wind with the ears open. Some of the other fun facts that comes to mind when it does come to elephants is that they also never stop growing. And as they grow older, they just become taller and taller. And they've got the potential of reaching heights of approximately some 4.2 meters, as far as I can remember, which is the record. And that's an exceptionally big elephant, because the majority of them is roughly some 3 meters at shoulder height.
I think there's just so many wonderful things about elephants, and because they've got large space requirements, when you're conserving elephants, you're automatically conserving all the other smaller species that share the landscape with them. In 1996, my mother and I started drawing individual elephant ear patterns, so that's the margin of the ears. Elephants Alive is a South African-based NGO that conducts research on elephants and works where elephants go. Elephants have taken us from South Africa to Zimbabwe, Mozambique and Eswatini as they forge vital corridors connecting protected areas at landscape level. We've been going for 25 years, collaring elephants, developing individual elephant IDs, and we've also got a really big project where we protect large trees from elephant impact. And then we've also got various community outreach. Our aim is to ensure the survival of elephants and their habitats and to promote harmonious coexistence between elephants and people.
This is just incredible. I've never seen a rock monitor versus a leopard before. Now, unfortunately, this monitor does not stand a chance. Oh, look at this. This is super exciting. Did you see that? Did you see how it used its tail? And you can see this leopard has had enough now.
For me, my favorite animal's been a leopard since I was a little boy, and being able to actually photograph them out here in the wild has been a dream of mine ever since. So really, really happy to be back on Impala, catch up with all the animals that, you know, I've followed around for 8 years already. Watch them grow, watch them through their triumphs, their victories, their losses, mourn with them. It's been absolutely phenomenal.
I wanted to show you these little white flowers. They're creamy, creamy white. I think they might be from the Rulia genus wild petunias. But I would love to know which one. If anyone would like to give me the correct full name for these flowers, I would be most happy. Probably from the wild petunias, or one of them. But I have absolutely no shame in saying when I don't know something. So lots of little splashes of colour. It's amazing how the bush provides different things throughout the year, and I'm really looking forward to those Impala lilies. They're one of my favourite flowers that come up often in the middle of winter. Everything is brown and bare, and then we get those stunning splashes of colour. I'm on Inyala Road South, driving very slowly, doing lion leans as I go, and I have no idea which way Mohawk went. So as I said, I'm just out to enjoy whatever the bush gives me this afternoon. Including these beautiful little flowers. We are pretty much along the drainage line. Always a good place to drive and listen and look. There is a fantastic network of drainage lines that run all the way through this property. I might actually scoot down towards the cut line, towards Gary Main. I'd like to see if this lion has left, just for peace of mind. But I think I'm probably going to stay around this southeastern corner of the property this afternoon. I would love to get a lion roar. I'm going to spend a little bit of time thinking about what bird call we can practice this afternoon. I did give you a very difficult one yesterday, which was a little bit unfair, but someone got it right. So I'm going to maybe give you one that's a bit easier this afternoon. I'm going to spend some time giving it some thought. Okay, let's carry on down Inyala Road south and see what we are gifted with. Bob, the small five, hey? I'm just trying to think. Where's this beetle? True. We can definitely try and do a couple of them. We will see what comes up. I think I've only seen elephant shrews 3 times. They're incredibly quick. There used to be an elephant shrew that lived around one of the lodges or one of the staff areas of where I used to work, and it got very relaxed. You would see it hopping around. Funny little things, those little elephant shrews. We will see what we can do, Bob. So for anyone that doesn't know, the small five, rhinoceros beetle, red-billed buffalo weaver, elephant shrew, leopard tortoise, and red-billed buffalo weaver. Did I say that? Was that the right 5? Leopard tortoise, rhinoceros beetle, I did say that, antlion, and the other 2. Leopard tortoise. Oh, there's I think it's a grey go-away bird up there. I wonder if it's one of Cedric's that went away earlier. Let's see if mine's going to disappear as well. Yes, one of these beautiful go-away birds. I like these birds. I'm going to send you back over to Cedric. My go-away bird has not gone away for now. And I'm going to send you back over to Cedric.
Yes, welcome back. As you can see, this is the African weeping wattle that we do have here. It is one of the nicest trees around. And what I do, as you can see, I've got a little bit of clothing that I make from the African weeping wattle. on very, very hot days, if the sun is really blaring down, grab a couple of these soft leaves. You just put it in your cap if you've got a cap. If you need to keep your ears nice and free from sunburn, it's one of the nicest things to use. Now, why they call it an African weeping wattle? Because the weeping side of it, so there is a spittle bug that actually draws a lot of the sap out of the branches, and it actually makes like this real saliva, little bags and pockets all over the tree, and it starts dripping with the saliva, and of course that makes it weeping, so the African weeping wattle. As you know as well, that the wattle family is absolutely amazing for furniture. So if you really look inside of the African weeping wattle, inside of the wood itself, it's got a beautiful maroon color to it. You take a nice teak oil and you kind of varnish the wood itself, and it gives it a beautiful maroon color for furniture, like your chairs, tables, any ornaments inside of the house itself. As well, that in the bush, we know this as a toilet paper tree. Very, very important for you to know these things, because if you're lost in the bush or you're on the vehicle and you don't have toilet paper and you need to run to a toilet, one of the best things to use is a lot of these little leaves. They're so soft. They're very, very, very soft. So you grab a whole lot of them, go to the toilet, and you can use this as a toilet paper. But you got to watch out. There is a certain acacia tree that looks exactly like this. The leaf structure is exactly like this. They've got little thorns under the leaflets and under those leaflets. So if you take it from the wrong tree and you run to the toilet and you've got the acacia tree or the acacia leaf, it's not going to be a pleasant moment in the bush. It's going to be a very tough moment. But it is really a stunning tree. It really grows to a big, beautiful tree, beautiful little yellow flowers that comes through. And of course, the bees do love them a lot. So the bees are the very high pollinator of the African weeping wattle. So really, really a stunning tree. I always really kind of take a look at these trees, and if I do need a little bit of protection from the sun or toilet paper, it's a way to go. Yes, well, look, I think in the bush you have to improvise. If you do not improvise in the bush, you are gonna suffer. You are not gonna do well. You need to make sure that you look after yourself in your clothing, in your accessories that we usually kind of put in my caps and all that. But I think I am looking very silly at the moment. But that's fine. There's no one that I have to really impress here in the bush, just by really myself. Anyway, let's move on and let's see what else we can find up the road, and I'll see hopefully we can see if we can get some more animals or some more trees or more accessories. I think I'm looking for more accessories. I want big accessories. Afternoon, Megan. Thank you very much. Yes, I am rocking this weeping wattle. I think you can even make a nice big wig out of it. If you're really looking for a nice wig, green wig with a bit of finesse to it, I think the African weeping wattle is a good thing. I think Odie's also going to put some on. He's just going to wear some dreadlocks. Well, I think I'm pulling a Morgan. Yeah. Well, let's take a look. Even for, I think, it's all rain. If if the rain doesn't want to go, if you don't want rain coming in or the water coming into your shirts, you just really kind of maybe plait the leaves. I should actually plait the leaves next time. We'll just see how far that goes, and have a whole lot of plaited wattle leaves going down my back to actually stop the water from going into the shirt. But anyway, yes, let's leave. Before we get a little bit more stupid, let's leave. Jokey joke. She feels like hair. Oh, well, there we go. Behind the ear.
We have got an epic battle going on between a pirate fly and a drop-tail ant. Look at that, look at that. So what's happening is these ants are moving from one side to another, and these pirate flies are trying to steal the baby ants.
In the woodlands of Djuma lives a lion pride with a taste for buffalo.
Look, 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 this is insane. Now, this is what I was saying about lions and buffalo. It's absolute pandemonium.
WildEarth have been privileged to follow the Djuma pride for many years. One of the most loved cats in the pride is Amber Eyes. She was not successful in rearing her first 2 litter of cubs and was seen as an aunt to the other youngsters. Then eventually, towards the end of August 2019, we found her with 4 tiny cubs of her own.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. At the moment we quickly popped in at one of our hyena dens. What I was curious to see is there is maybe any cutlery lying around here, especially coffee plungers as well as coffee cups. So quite a few of the students had a large number of coffee cups and utensils which they left outside last night. And what happened is the hyenas actually discovered them in the early hours of this morning and then decided to carry them off. So as BK and myself made our way towards where we normally go and pick up our equipment, we saw some of our hyenas running into this direction with some stuff in their mouth. It's not the only things they have stolen. They also specialize in taking cameras, binoculars, as well as backpacks. And one of my colleagues' backpacks was lying underneath here for quite a long time. He managed to actually retrieve it after almost 5 months. He was very happy because his favorite knife was inside there. A pair of very expensive binoculars, as well as a number of other pieces of important guiding equipment. However, the backpack was a little bit broken. I was also quite happy to still find a packet of cigarettes in there and a lighter that was working. At the same time, we were also listening to some calls, and then one of the calls we were hearing at the background over here was of a white-browed scrub robin. And it sounds something like this. And its notes is generally, she's reached, and then sometimes it says, who are you, where are you, who are you, where are you? I just want to show you how they look like. Very non-descriptive little robins. And when it comes to scrub robins, they're generally brown in color compared to that of a robin chat. So I'm just going to quickly put a page on that side. And there's one of our robin chats. Actually, these are nicer. And you can see that they're generally slightly blue-grey colors as well as orange and combinations of black and white. So the robin chats on average is much more beautifully colored. I'm just going to go back to the scrub robin. This guy also is a very good mimic, and one of the things that they often do is mimic a wide range of different calls. And the reasons why they do that is to actually impress females, because the greater your song repertoire, the more experienced you are as a male and the more years you have behind you. So therefore females are always going to choose a more mature male compared to a male with a limited repertoire of songs. It's fairly easy to identify. Short little white brow, and then also this white wing bar which forms part of their plumage pattern, which makes them quite easy to separate from the similar looking scrub robins which we have, of which one we common find in this area right over here. This is normally found along river edges as well as in drainage lines, and I just like this bearded scrub robin and its call as well. And then if you do go to the escarpment and you do go high up into the forested areas, you actually will find brown scrub robin as well. Coming back to some of the calls that these guys often mimic, is what I never understand is how they can remember a call 4 months after that a migratory bird has left the area. And sometimes you will hear a call of something that is a migrant. You'll look up and you'll look around, see where this bird is, and then as you start looking around, you find a white-browed scrub robin. Good afternoon, Kafili, and welcome to the show. That's a very good question, why they have different colored feet. I probably would assume that it's maybe species identification. But yeah, tricky question. I'll have to actually go and find out for you. But feet is actually very useful when it does come to actually identifying a lot of similar looking species. We start noticing subtle colors of the bare skin and the feet, the amount of feathering on the legs and feet. If it's fully feathered all the way down, halfway feathered, or no feathers at all. And sometimes you even find that there's two different colors, patterns that you find on the feet. For example, with little egret, which has got yellow little feet as well as black legs. And then the closely associated intermediate egret, which has got a combination of black and yellow legs, which is half black and half yellow, which makes it very easy to separate them from similar looking egrets and herons. Well, we're going to start moving on and go and see what we can go and find, as it doesn't seem that there's any activity in our hyena den at the moment. Well, Cedric is bumbling and hoping to exciting in the bush. We're going to move off and go and see what we can find.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. I'm just on Pangolin Road. I'm just trying to see, and maybe please see if I can also see any of the male lion tracks around this area. Was where he was this morning. But very interesting. I also like to know why birds do have different colored legs. That would be very interesting. And I've also just heard as well that birds in this southern hemisphere, their eyes are much brighter and more colorful than birds that's in the northern hemisphere. I don't know if that could be due to the different ways of the sun, or I don't know. Oh, I won't know that answer. That'll be very interesting to actually find that out. I'll definitely also maybe go scratch around a bit and to see all those interesting facts about colorations of eyes of the birds and legs. It'll be very, very nice to know. If anybody else knows, or anybody knows at home, please let us know. It's always time to learn. There's always new information, and you can always share stuff. I want to quickly jump out here. I've got luck. It's because the sun is hitting it just right. I can actually see the tracks on the one side here. I just want to quickly take a look. It's actually beautiful. I'm not going to say fresh, but it is from some time. All right, I was going to take a look around from here. Good day, Odie. All right, well, as you can see, we've got lovely, quite a nice tracks around this side. And it's actually got, if I actually draw it, yeah, it's got a nice foot, the back area, one toe on the side, another toe in the front, coming down, and another toe on the side, coming down like that. So, of course, it's an animal that's got 3 toes. And of course, heading into that direction. And why I can say that direction, you can just see the indentation on the front part of it. Another big one here. And you can see beautiful that the sun is shining perfect on these tracks. So you can actually create a bit of a shadow. So this is now a rhino track. All right, so the rhino's pretty much got 3 toes. It's exactly like your ungulates, so hooved animals. So your hooved animals like your giraffe, buffalo, impala, kudu, they've got 2 nails on a hoof. So we'll know that as a even-toed ungulate. Now with a rhino, because it's got 3 nails on the hoof, we'll also say it is nails, they're also walking on their nails. We'll call this an odd-toed ungulate. The other odd-toed ungulates that we do have around here is pretty much something like a zebra. If you think of a horseshoe, it's got really just the one real kind of nail on it. Now this, of course, is definitely heading a westerly direction. It looks like 2 rhinos here, Of course, you can just see by the one bigger track and one of I'll just take a look here. Definitely a bigger track on the one side here. See the indentations on the front toes heading into that direction, and then we've got the smaller of the tracks here. Of course, most probably it's maybe a female and a calf. So it's always a nice way to remember just by the size of them. If it's a male rhino, it'll be definitely a much larger track, and plus a little calf will not stick with the male rhino. It'll be just with the cow itself. So of course heading into that direction. But yeah, beautiful, nice little tracks around here. It's always nice. I always love doing the tracking side of things. It always gives you a nice explanation on what's really happening around you and what has happened in these areas in the last 24 hours. As we know, it is our newspaper of the bush. As we take a look at these beautiful markings of the animals. So yes, now that is a nice fresh one. Anyway, we'll take a look. We're just going to continue up Pangolin Road. Let's just take a look and see if we can. Right, well, we can continue up Pangolin. Let's head back to Kelly and see what is Kelly up to in the peaceful vegetation.
Cedric, it is indeed the newspaper of the bush, and interesting pondiments all round as to why birds have different coloured feet. I actually had a question this morning, do birds see in colour? And I knew they did. I just had to quickly rifle through my brain to confirm they did. And I've done a bit more reading since then. And they've actually got better colour vision than humans. And they can see UV, blue, green and red. And if you look at some of the images I found, they can actually, if you look at the way we would see a starling would see a starling vastly differently and much more brightly. And from what I understand, most colour-related things in nature, it's all about communication. Well, I guess, well, even looking pretty. They're looking pretty to communicate something. So if I was going to hazard a guess, I would suggest it's something to do with communicating, or maybe the areas they are in as to why birds have different coloured feet. But these are the things I love to ponder, and it's why I personally really enjoy your questions, so please keep sending them through. I just stopped here. I thought this was very pretty, what we can see here. There's a beautiful white trunk of a leadwood with the sun hitting it in stark contrast with those beautiful lush greens, and then these rather dark clouds through the back there. The clouds above us are not quite as ominous, but these dark clouds are quite striking on the other side here. I also wanted to stop here to do our bird quiz. Okay, this is a bit mean, but there we go. I was super impressed. Someone got the African snipe yesterday, so you continue to impress me. Okay, this does sound a little bit like Donald Duck, but don't let that fool you. Another quick one. Send in your answers, and again, I might take just the group, but ideally I would like a species-specific answer, please.
Free Me Wildlife as an organisation is a value-adding service to the communities of KwaZulu-Natal. We are a professional wildlife rehabilitation centre. We work with compromised Indigenous wildlife, and our whole goal is to return these animals back into the wild as wild animals. To get involved with this initiative, go to our Facebook page, Free Me Wildlife. Alternatively, you can go directly to our website, freemewildlife.org. We hope you get involved, and thank you so much for your care and support out there.
Find a way into the kill to eat, get their fill in there as well. But they're also going to be told off. See, lions are not great at sharing their food. Okay, guys, let me just taking frustration out on the other lion, but you see, it was interesting.
Hello, my name is Byron Loebscher and I am a naturalist on the Penguin Beach Show based down at Stony Point in Betty's Bay. It is so awesome to be able to interact with viewers internationally, get to know people, answer questions and promote the conservation of this very special little species, the African penguin. My favorite types of questions to receive from viewers on the show are the more challenging questions. I really enjoy it when I don't know the answer to a question and I have to go back and research the answer and provide feedback to the viewer. I find that really, really awesome because we learn in the process. If you would like to ask me any questions, you need to register on the WildEarth website. Once registered, you can ask your questions under the live feed. Catch up with me on WildEarth Daily.
Come back. I am just approaching now the Djuma clan hyena den on Texans. So I'm just hoping that somebody is home. If nobody is home, unfortunately we cannot stay. But let's just take a look if anybody is home at the den site. We'll see around here. Doesn't look like anybody is at the den site itself. It's very quiet here. Looks like there's no adults around here at the moment. I'm gonna quickly just want to double check. I just want to scan the area. No, it doesn't look like any of the adults. So 10 to 1, I'm sure the adults are quite, they're all out and maybe looking for a meal to scavenge on. No, alright, so we're not going to stay here. We're going to move on and, Rusty doesn't want to start. Move on out of here. As I said, we cannot remain in the area without any adults around. I haven't seen the hyenas for a day or two now. I'm really interested to come back again. Maybe I'll come back a little bit later. We'll see how it goes and maybe make a turn here again. So does anybody have any suggestions that you guys want for today? Hannah, good afternoon. Antiseptic leaves, yes, I know that they can use the buffalo thorn. So the buffalo thorns leaves itself, so you can chew it. Let's quickly find if I can find one around here. It's not so, how can I say, bitter, and it's not so sweet. But it is a leaf that you can chew. And what they use, you can use it for antiseptic, or apparently you can use it to draw venom out if a snake bites you. Well, that's what the locals say. So even so if a snake bites you, you grab it and you just paste it on. As well, there is another tree or a little bush called the purple panweed. So purple panweed, which you'll find around the pan areas. Of course, the roots you can use for moisturizing your skin, and the leaves or the purple little bollikies on the little bush itself, you can actually kind of also just rub it together and smear it over if you've got a wound or a scratch, something like that. You can actually, you can use that. Almost like an aloe. You know, like many times you find those aloes, you can cut them in half, and you can smear them. Then again, so another thing is a mother-in-law's tongue. So the mother-in-law's tongue, you can just scrape it, use a little bit with a little bit of, I can say like a jelly substance, and you can actually just smear it all over an area that you've been burned, or you've got a sunburn, or if you've got a scratch, or you've got like a nasty little sore. So yes, a lot of little trees, a lot of little remedies, things that you can use in the bush. It's very, very cool. That's why I'll say you can never, if you're in the bush, you've always got something that you can utilize from toiletries up to medicines and accessories. So yes, the bush always provides, I believe. It always provides. And I find it's the most natural way of living. Use stuff straight from the bush. I'm actually trying to look for a buffalo thorn here now. I think we're going too low for buffalo thorns. They're like a little bit more of a high rising. But maybe you'll find some. I do find purple panweed. So usually your purple panweed will be at your dams and your rivers. I just want to take a look, but let's see if we can find something around here. I can see it from here. I don't want to chase the Impala now. Impala is standing right at the leaf. Okay, let me just look along here quickly. I think maybe on the other side. I think I see some that side there. Yeah, it's purple panweed. Always a nice little bush with a little purple bollikies on them. I'm just going to quickly jump out here. I'll be with you guys now. I'll show you. Okay. So yeah, your purple panweed is very much a nice little purple flower that makes these little bollikies at the end. And you always find it, I say, around the water areas and all that. And with the leaves are very much, it's got a very, very sharp smell to it. But it's also, if you grab this, even mix it with a bit of water. And, sorry about that. You can actually mix it with water, and then once you mix it with water, or you can actually use saliva, and just put a little bit of saliva on it, and you can actually just smear it on. If you've got a nice wound, scratch, even a sunburn, you grab your purple panweed. Very good. The local people also use the purple panweed. Fortunately, they use it when it comes to if they've got a little baby or something like that, and they'll actually grab the leaves itself and chew the leaves and swallow it. Apparently, it actually makes the baby quite healthy once it's born. It's got a good immune system, and it's a thing that they do use in these areas, the purple panweed. Very cool. Always nice to use, very nice to use. So yes, many ways to make a plan here in the bush, I believe. Many ways. All right, let's mosey on. Sorry, a little lapwing. Actually, sorry, before we go, sorry about that. I just want to... Ah, fantastic. Well, Kelly's going to go reveal the bird calls. Let's take a look here at the blacksmiths, because I did upset the blacksmith now because I just walked to the weed itself. I'm trying to look for those little fur balls. I want to take a look if I can find them around here somewhere. Earlier, and I could try to look. But they are definitely still here, because that lapwing, that blacksmith lapwing won't go so crazy if they weren't here. very long banks. They're also small. All right, well, let's go head to Kelly while we sit here at the Treehouse Dam. She's going to go and reveal the bird call challenge to everybody.
We have some fantastic guesses for our bird call. Samantha V, final answer, definitely a bird. You are correct. It was indeed a bird. Larry L, sounds like me before dinner. I can relate. Larry L, yes, I can indeed relate to that. Megan Edwards, spoonbill. It's close-ish. Ian Timothy Armitage, a plover. You are, that plovers do have a very strange sound, I would agree, but no. This is a lesser flamingo. It's a little bit mean of me. I'm going to play you it once more. And the way I actually learnt this call is it reminds me of a man trying to get into a balloon. That's how I learnt that call. I've got a vision of a man with a great big balloon and he's trying to... Maybe that first part. Lesser flamingo, a man climbing into a balloon. And this really is genuinely how I have learnt bird calls, believe it or not. Whatever works for you, right? But good guesses, everyone. That was a difficult one. Maybe tomorrow we'll do a slightly easier one. I've come down to Gary, Maine. I did find a lion track, but I think they might have been from yesterday. I think I'm going to have a little... It's literally hit and hope for me at the moment on finding this boy. I'm glad you all enjoyed my man getting into a balloon memory. I've also got... maybe I'll play you another one. While we're sitting here on Gary, Maine, I'll play you another one and I'll tell you how I've learnt this one as well. Let me just find this quickly on my sound thing. This is actually how I learn bird calls. Let me find the bird. With a sock caught in its throat. I agree, grumpy old man. We learn things how we need to learn them. Now let me just... It was one of these birds. Let me just see which one it was. Oh, a frog with a sock stuck in its throat. Yeah, they're definitely a strange sound. I'm gonna double check my workings. I'm not gonna do this. I'll check just now, but I've got another bird that I've learnt using a very strange technique. I've actually got very strange techniques for most of these birds that I've learnt, to be honest. I did a specialist exam about 2 or 3 years ago, and there was literally hundreds of calls I had to try and learn. And I had to use whatever techniques I could find to learn them.
All WildEarth explorers have a chance to join our naturalists in a monthly fireside chat. This is a great way to learn more about our guides, animal characters, and wildlife locations. We would love to hear from you as to the topics that interest you the most. Email us your ideas or tweet using the hashtag WildEarth, and we will be sure to take them into account when planning our evenings around the fire in the future. WildEarth explorers, it's in your nature. Spinning around in outer space, our planet gives life to the human race. Every day when WildEarth is out on drive, we see our Earth's beauty, we see her alive. We need our planet, that is true, but our planet needs us too. WildEarth will be celebrating Earth Day on the 22nd of April with a special safari live show.
My heart rate has gone up slightly. In fact, it's gone up quite a lot. This elephant is now 2 meters from us. Okay, we might have to move here. No? Yes. Sorry, my friend, but you're about to push that onto the car. You see how cross he was that we didn't want to watch him push the tree over. That's why we moved.
Shongile was born on the 3rd of February 2016 to Karula, the Queen of Djuma. We watched her grow from birth to enforced independence when Karula disappeared. On the 19th of August 2016, Tandy, Shongile's sister, was on the prowl. From nowhere she appeared, and a traumatic fight ensued. That was the last sighting of her on Djuma. She disappeared into the wilderness just as her mother before her.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm just sitting here with a beautiful little dwarf mongoose. He's sitting just on a termite mound. It's probably one of the den sites for them. As you know, the little dwarf mongoose, they do run in a big pack, plus minus 30 in a pack. I'll just see this one. I've been looking around, scouring the area. I don't see any of the others around here at the moment. And what I'm thinking, sometimes what they do, they will leave an adult back at a den site, especially if there is little babies that's inside of that den site, just to guard the area and making sure that they are safe. But as you know, they are the smallest carnivores here in the southern African area. They are insectivorous. And you find that it is, the pack itself is run by an alpha male and alpha female. Many good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us on our sunset safari on WildEarth. What is the favorite thing that the mongoose likes to eat? Well, definitely it's insects. They are insectivorous. So you'll find like little grubs they love digging up, like especially when you get to those dung piles of like where the rhino middens are, or where the dung beetles have buried the ball of dung and they laid their eggs, and they've got those little larvas, big grubs inside of those balls. They love breaking that open and eating those grubs. It's really, really rich in protein for them. So also like grasshoppers, crickets, even you get those woodworms. I've seen them digging up woodworms as well. So anything insects, so they are insectivorous. That's what they do love to eat. Definitely this one looks like it is looking after its little house here. So you'll find every 4 days what the mongoose do. They are very much a territorial animal when it comes to their den sites. So every 4 days they will move to another den site. And just why they move every time, it's just to not leave their scent behind. And also for parasites. So if they stay in a den site for too long, parasites become too much for them. And it's not good in a healthy way for the dwarf mongoose. And they'll move 4 days' time again to another den site, 4 days' time another den site, and of course they'll use like termite mounds, fallen over trees, dead trees, and usually on the 28th day they'll come back to the same den site again, and they'll work it all over again. So every 4 days changing den sites. And one fascinating thing about a dwarf mongoose, it's amazing how they actually determine an alpha female status. They'll actually have a little licking competition, like a grooming competition. So of course, the females will have a grooming competition, and of course, the one that's the wettest will give up, and the other one will become the new alpha female. But Jerome, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, the hyenas chase dwarf mongooses away from their little den sites. Well, look, this little den site where the mongoose is now, I don't even think a baby hyena can even fit inside of that hole. That'll be too small. And I think where the hyena clan's den site is, I think that is too large for these dwarf mongoose, because they really rather want to have a real small entrance and exit to their den sites, just in case for any other predators. You get things like the African wildcat, the serval, caracal. So you get a lot of different predators at night time. So they want to make sure that that den site is not accessible to any of those smaller predators. Unfortunately, yes, snakes do get in, but dwarf, that's why you'll find that one will always stay behind if there is little babies in the den sites, just to make sure that if there is a snake that's coming through, this one will alert the others. The others will definitely pick up on the alarm call, and 10 to 1 they will run back to their den sites to see if they can lure the snake away from their babies. They're very fascinating little creatures. I love them. I love dwarf mongoose. Sometimes you can actually sit with them for hours and just to look at their behavior with each other. But as I said, this one is by itself. I think the others are all foraging further out into the vegetation. On that note, let's see if we can move further. While we move on, we're going to head to Kelly. She's got a beautiful coloration feather that she wants to show you.
I'm wondering how Cedric's accessorization is going. Accessorizing, his donning of bush things. I would love to find out. I did a feather challenge the other day, and it was a very easy one. This one isn't too difficult. I would love to hear firstly what feather you think this bird came. What bird do you think this feather came from, even? It's quite small and quite blue. And then the other challenge, it's all about the birds this afternoon. I found my bird, that I have another very interesting way of learning, and I'm going to play it for you now. Once more. Send through your answers. What bird is this feather from, do you think? I'm happy to go group, I think. And also, what call was that? And if anyone can guess how I learnt it, then I will be incredibly surprised. Alrighty, let's carry on. It looks like we're diving away from the clouds, which is always very nice. I want to see a snake. Cedric's seen puff adders. I'm jealous. This overcast weather might actually mean we are possibly more likely to see a snake this afternoon. The feather and the call aren't the same, by the way, different birds. I would love to find a feather from that bird that makes that call, though. That would be very cool. Djuma, a starling, good guess. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think think it's from a starling. It's a good guess though. You're in the right direction for sure. Well done, Djuma. Bob, a bee eater? Possibly, but that's not the one I'm going with. You, I might be wrong, but I know which one I've got in, or which group I've got in my head. I don't think it's from the bee eaters. Lindy, Woodlands kingfisher. That's sort of where I was going. The kingfishers. So there's quite a lot of blue in the brown hooded kingfisher, but I would guess possibly from our beautiful Woodlands kingfishers. Those very bright blues in those kingfishers would be the giveaway sign for me. So well done, Lindy. I'm going to go with that. Christy, I can really see why you went with roller. I did a roller the other day, and I'll show you actually, because I've still got my feather here. This was my roller feather that I found the other day. So it's still got those blues in it, but also blacks. And well, it's sort of dark blue black at the tip. This was my roller feather, but I can definitely see why you went with that. Ooh, that was very close on my face. I would say probably Woodlands kingfisher, but you know, unless you see a feather fall from a bird, it's very difficult. I actually got very excited the other day. I had a beautiful sighting of double-banded sand grouse, which we don't normally have, and one of them pooped. And I was very excited about that, because things like small poops and bird tracks and things, they can be very difficult to 100% confirm unless you see the animal do it. So yeah, I was very excited by my double-banded sand grouse poop. Yes, it's about 4 days ago, I think. And I sent it through to some experts for their records. The strange things we send each other in this industry. Why wouldn't you want to send someone a photo of a double-banded sandgrass poop, right? It really is, well, me personally, it really is my passion. And it's not just when I'm out here. I love to go away and do reading. It's a real passion, and it needs to be. We're here a long time, and it's more of a lifestyle. It never ceases to amaze me, and I never stop looking things up and learning, and that's why I enjoy everyone's questions so much. Even if I don't know the answer, I'll always admit I don't know the answer, but it really keeps me thinking. So thank you so much for participating and helping me to keep learning.
Over the past year, many WildEarth explorers have won life-changing travel prizes.
Today I was told I have won the most amazing prize to go to Maritaba. I can't believe it.
I am most excited to meet some of the guides.
The animals, the birds, and everything else it has to offer. We can't wait to go.
I would love to take my little grandson up with me on this experience to Finder.
WildEarth has brought so much to my life, and I am thrilled and grateful to have this opportunity.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to visit.
Thank you very much for this amazing prize, WildEarth.
Sign up to be an explorer today and you will be entered into a monthly draw which could see you jetting off to a dream location in 2022. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
I think there's just so many wonderful things about elephants, and because they've got large space requirements, when you're conserving elephants, you're automatically conserving all the other smaller species that share the landscape with them. In 1996, my mother and I started drawing individual elephant ear patterns, so that's the margin of the ears.
Elephants Alive is a South African-based NGO that conducts research on elephants and works where elephants go.
Elephants have taken us from South Africa to Zimbabwe, Mozambique and Eswatini as they forge vital corridors connecting protected areas at landscape level. We've been going for 25 years, collaring elephants, developing individual elephant IDs, and we've also got a really big project where we protect large trees from elephant impact. And then we've also got various community outreach.
Our aim is to ensure the survival of elephants and their habitats and to promote harmonious coexistence between elephants and people.
But I think that's him. I think that's the one I must. Okay, this is getting serious now. I knew there was going to be trouble. Too many bulls and must over one herd.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Just found tracks of Tlalamba. Where we left her this morning, she must have been around that area close to Treehouse Dam. She must have been there because her tracks was right on top of our vehicle tracks from now. And she was coming through, so hopefully she might still be in the thickets. She wasn't too far from where we are now. So I'm just going to slowly but surely take a look. If she does come onto this road, I'm hoping that she will stick to the road and go up, because she is definitely now moving. So I'm just holding thumbs that we can locate her. Yeah, I'm just a bit worried that she's still inside the drainage line between where we found the last tracks cutting through and Shabamu. I've got a feeling if she does come onto this road, she's going to stick to the road and head straight up towards Philemon's cut line. Maybe I need to do a leopard dance here. I think that's a good idea. I'm just thinking from that side, it's not too far for her to come across. I'm just hoping that she doesn't cut straight across. If she cuts straight across, unfortunately, then it's a little bit of a different story. Yes, no, I think, I think the leopard dance will be a very good idea for finding something. So I'll think about, then again, my dancing style is very old school. I've got a very old school dancing style. And I don't know if the new age leopards will kind of accept my old school style. Well, you never know. You never know. These creaky old knees of mine might pull a move or two. Oh yeah, that bird's going, yeah. Why do I always drag myself into these things? Come on, Tlalamba, where are you? You should be here somewhere. If she hasn't come out yet, I think she's still sitting inside this block. She's going to go up a little bit more, and then it's just now she did cut a little bit further north. I don't think as far as this now, but let's just take a look. Come on, girl, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? While we continue searching around here for Tlalamba, let's head back to Kelly, and she's got the answers for a bird called challenge number 2, while I also make sure my dancing style is in tune.
we have some answers to my second bird call of the day. Huggy Bear, guinea fowl struggling as Marips eats it. I'm not sure how much noise would be coming out of a guinea fowl if our young Marips had it in his jaws. In Timothy Armitage, pied wagtail, that is not dissimilar to a pied wagtail, but afraid not. And Jeremy, blue-backed knobblebird. I think this is possibly my new favourite bird species. I'm not sure if this particular species is found in this area. I will consult my bird specialist and report back to you, Jeremy, the blue-backed knobblebird. Loving it. So I'm going to play this sound once more. This is the call of a shaft-tailed wider, and the way I learnt this call, you all know far too much. To me it sounds like a small man cleaning a window really quickly. I can see him there with his little chamois. Very small man with a chamois and he's got his chamois and he's going or not. I'm going to continue my quest for the invisible lion tracks. Always fun. That's a very big black cloud behind me, I've just noticed. We are driving towards the bluer sky, which is good. I'm gonna scoot out onto the cut line. There's an elephant. Well, I never. I've almost forgotten what elephants look like. Sorry, Impa, that's not the best image of an elephant you're gonna get. You see? But it is an elephant. Just caught that movement of that ear there. Deep in that block there. I'm on Leadwood Road, very close to Cheetah Cutline, and I'm planning on looping around the southern bit of Cheetah Cutline, having a look for tracks and then scooting back along Gary Main. There's a little one in there as well. This is a very strange thing to say, but they look like extremely big ears. Maybe it's just the angle, but they look ginormous. You can see the cartilage, the edge of the ears is a little bit droopy, and this often happens in elephants as they age. Things start to go a bit saggy. That's why these ears are looped over a bit. This elephant's having a field day in there, but those ears look bigger than its body. I'm sure it's just the angle. It's slightly downhill, and she's got her head tilted up a bit. I'm guessing female because there is a small one there. How nice. Bronwyn, absolutely, yay. I'm also thinking, yay, they have been very scarce lately. We haven't been seeing too many at all, or very often. We do know that we see more elephants in areas with marula trees. We know we see more elephants when the marulas are fruiting, and then they start to disperse once those marulas have finished. I've only seen this too. There's one adult here, and I'm sure I saw a small one. You can just see those bushes moving now. I'm gonna see if there's another gap. If not, I'm gonna carry on. And I'm gonna send you to Cedric, who I believe is still accessorizing.
Wow, that is part of my leopard dance. Yes. As you can see, accessories in the bush is absolutely amazing. Once again, if I don't have clothes, I can always use the magic worry. So the magic worry you can use as a kilt, a dress, a pants. It's a very evergreen tree or evergreen shrub that we get around here. So no matter what, even if it's winter and you're cold, grab a hole. It's one of those bushes where you can actually even make a toothbrush. But I won't make the toothbrush right now, as I've actually got my clothes still on, or my bushes still on. So yes, a magic worry. Once again, I can have fantastic accessories with all these different leaves, with all the different trees around here. I can make a wig, I can make a cap, I can make a kilt, I can make different things around here. So I was following up on Columba's tracks coming up the road this side. So we have to now shuffle back to the vehicle. See, it even makes a noise. I like it. Yeah, it makes a nice noise. And I think we're going to use this as a lucky charm for finding Columba. Let's go find Columba. Yes, I've just got leaves everywhere. All right, let's go. I've got a feeling we are going to bump into her now. I've got a feeling she heard my leaves rustling. And I think maybe that could be the moment. Watch. Let's hope. Come, Columba. Play with us today. Be our favorite. I've got that feeling. But yes, once again, as I say, it's always so many different things. Rick, good afternoon. Yes, welcome. Thanks for joining us on our sunset safari on WildEarth. Yeah, I think I've also seen it all now. Yep. But we've got to make it enjoyable. It is awesome. I think sometimes you can even have nothing on here and you can actually make yourself all different kinds of clothes with the leaves and bushes and grass. You can really become creative. This is where you have to use creativity to survive.
At WildEarth, our explorers are treated to a weekly newsletter, bursting with fascinating features and never-seen-before snippets. Recently, we have added some brand new sections which we think you will love. Find out what happens behind the scenes with our crew when they are not live on WildEarth. Have a giggle at our moments of the week from both Safari and Penguin Beach. And Ranger Eric answers your questions with fascinating and in-depth explanations as to the whys and hows of nature.
Wild dogs coming out of, or the puppies coming out of the den site making those very high-pitched noises.
All of this and more delivered to your inbox every week. So what are you waiting for? Head over to our website, sign up to be an explorer, and join the adventure. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
Myself and Sebastian were looking for the Birmingham Pride sub-adults, and we just found them stealing a hoisted baby Impala carcass out of a tree. This is incredible. It's the first time I've seen one of these youngsters. Whoa! Quite a good chunk there. Nearly fell out doing it. She might fall backwards. She's actually lowering herself down the trees. It's the first time I've seen a lion do that in person.
I'm on Cheetah Cutline, very close to the junction of Gowrie, Main. And we do have dark clouds, the same as we have had dark clouds today. However, we do have a chink in those dark clouds that hang heavy, but the sun is just starting to peep through this gap. And we must remember that these dark clouds will clear and the sun will rise again. If this little gap in these clouds stays open, the sun is going to burst through it. Let's see if this gap holds. Oh, Mark, wow, that's a deep question. What would the Leopard look like without elephants? Oh, how long have you got? Elephants have a huge impact on any natural environment that they're in for various reasons. It's really difficult to give a concise answer, to be honest. There have historically, all these natural areas, there has been elephants. And as we know, elephants, they will push, hello bird, they will push over trees, which acts as a ecological cycling system. So on the face of it, you would think that without elephants, it would become a jungle, or thick with trees. It would eliminate grasses, which would have a negative impact on grazers. But we don't really know. There was, where was it? I think there was somewhere in Botswana that historically there was elephants there, and then there wasn't, and then there was, and they watched the cycles of the bush change and the cycles. No, I'm not going to make it up. I can't remember what the paper was called or exactly how it went. I'm not going to try and recreate it. Instinct would say elephants would stop feeding on trees, stop pushing over trees. The trees would become too plentiful and there'd be no grass for grazers. But we don't really know, because nature has a way of Ooh. There's lion tracks. Oh, these are my lion tracks from the other day though, ignore me. Nature has a way of resolving itself, so I couldn't answer that. I'm sure some scientists would hazard a guess, but I'm not going to, because nature does have a way of fixing itself. Like the sickle bush in some areas that have been disturbed, the sickle bush gets thick for many years, and then as a result the soil types change, the tree and grass species change, and so nature goes on. So on the face of it, I would say there'd be lots of trees and not enough grass. Whether or not that is what the scientists would say, I don't know. A sadder place. The Lowveld would be a sadder place without elephants. So I'm back to where I was like 2 days ago now, watching these lion tracks come in on the junction of cheetah cutline. Hold on. No, I was at the other side. I was at the other junction of cheetah cutline Gary Main, not this one. Huh, okay. Or was I? Oh, these animals give me the runaround. No, I was at the other end. I'm keeping half an eye on the sky. I'm going to continue being confused on Gary Main and send you across to JP, who has some lovely Impala.
Welcome back to Pridelands. At the moment we are looking at a group of Impala, and as we decided to plan onto them, they all started moving behind the thicket. I'm just going to quickly reposition the vehicle so that we can actually get a little bit of a better view on them. From this group, at the moment there's a single male with several females, and he's already started a little harem. I'll tell you a little bit more about different social structures which we do get with a number of different animals in a moment. And let's first just reposition the vehicle and get a better view on what they're up to. Females are playing the game. Our ram right over here has not been playing the game so much. He's now moving into a thicker vegetated area. We've been watching him so far this afternoon, busy marking his territory. And one of the ways that he is doing it is simply by actually scraping chemicals from a gland that's between the horns onto branches and then rubbing his face up and down to smear it onto the grass stalks. We also find that they will use middens, and we did look at one of these middens this morning, and they use these as an optical method as well as a chemical method of demarcating a territory. While we're also busy looking at them, there's a few things that I do find particularly interesting about them, and one of those are that little black gland that's on the hind part of a foot, and that is known as a metatarsal gland. They're not 100% sure what the function is, and most scientists reckon that it might potentially be there to create a functional scent trail when animals kick their hind legs out and start fleeing, but that still hasn't been 100% proven. And the name for that special gland, Melampus, meaning blackfoot, also is reflected in the scientific name of the species. And we do look at the scientific name, it's Apakeros melalampus, which means a high-horned antelope with black feet. Now, if we do go to Namibia, we also get another form of Impala, which is actually a subspecies, which means it's a part of a population which has been geographically isolated over a period of time. And they actually have little black faces, hence the name blackface Impala compared to common Impala that we have over here. We also find that the Afrikaans name for the species is a rooibok, meaning a red antelope. And it seems the original name, which was given by the Tswana people of South Africa for it, which is Pala, actually means a red antelope itself. However, there's a number of other descriptions I've also read, so it seems that actually the name has gone lost in translation over the years. There's also two little young rams just busy play fighting for a short while. And those little guys are only a year or so of age. or less actually than a year of age, and that's why they're still accompanying the group of females. By next year, this time, they will be pushed out of this group and they'll be joining a group of bachelors. We also notice that there is a lot of bachelor herds around here at the moment, and those are generally focused on fighting at the moment, and they're just pulling rank and seeing who's the strongest, who's the fittest, and the strongest and fittest of those individuals are the ones that are also going to set up territories. It's like our ram over here. Eventually, this ram will be displaced by a stronger challenger that is more fit than he is, because at the moment he can't focus on anything other than mating, and has very little time to eat when it comes to the peak of a rutting season. And by then, as they lose condition, somebody else is going to take over. While we're also watching them, we can just maybe point out that there's special black markings in the hindquarters, and we also believe that these assist with breaking up the shape. But one of the things that does assist with breaking up their shape is actually the dark bands on top to the lighter bands underneath. And it's believed when predators that see in black and white look at animals from a distance in bright sun, but it actually assists with breaking up the shape of an antelope and therefore making it harder to spot it from a distance as a potential prey item. And when it does come to impalas, they're probably one of the most important prey species out here. And now coming up, we find that even wild dogs will be utilizing them in the rutting season, as they know that there's a lot of fatigued and not so vigilant males out there. And they will grab them, eat them. We also see leopards make a big deal out of them, and we also find that even lion does predate quite heavily on them as well. If I remember correctly, with wild dogs, up to 80% of their prey actually makes up the impala in some areas.
Free Me Wildlife as an organisation is a value-adding service to the communities of KwaZulu-Natal. We are a professional wildlife rehabilitation centre. We work with compromised Indigenous wildlife, and our whole goal is to return these animals back into the wild as wild animals. To get involved with this initiative, go to our Facebook page, Free Me Wildlife. Alternatively, you can go directly to our website, freemewildlife.org. We hope you get involved, and thank you so much for your care and support out there.
This is just incredible. I've never seen a rock monitor versus a leopard before. Now, unfortunately, this monitor does not stand a chance. Oh, look at this. This is super exciting. Did you see that? Did you see how it used its tail? So you can see this leopard has had enough now.
Hello, my name is Danelle Wenzel. I am definitely 100% a water and ocean human. When I'm not spending my time above the surface, I'm definitely under the water. I also run a scuba diving company, so I do a lot of scuba dives, free dives. I surf in my time off. So definitely anything, everything to do with the ocean, whether it's on top of the water or under the water. Penguins, they might look cute and cuddly, and they're one of the most adorable animals in the world, but they are total rock stars. They are built for speed, they are incredibly resilient, and they're also mean, lean, sardine-eating machines. WildEarth. I think it's such an important platform that we can use to share our conservation story with. Because a lot of the animals, especially our African penguins, they are endangered and they do need our help. It is up to us to make a change and get involved and helping people make that connection to nature.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm here on Philemon's cut line. Yes, I did do my leopard dance, and I'm hoping it is going to pay off because we did get Columbus tracks coming further straight towards Philemon's cut line, maybe just north of where I did the dance. So maybe that dance did help. But we're going to just taking a look carefully. She hasn't come out the block. I haven't seen anything coming out onto this road yet. So I just want to see, she must be somewhere around here. Because the last tracks, and it was very, very fresh tracks. I mean, if it was on top of my vehicle tracks from this afternoon. So she only moved really after, you know, maybe 4 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock, she really started moving. So I'm just thinking 3 or 4 o'clock and what kind of distance she can actually cover in that period. I just want to check what I've got here. Sorry, that's old tracks there. So yeah, I'm just looking careful. What is right on top there? Sorry, I just want to stop. I don't think it looks like Impala. Oh, that's Impala far up that side, okay. But it's more this side here. What I might just get to the junction of where Taxon's is and Philemon's cut line. And maybe just turn around again and head back slowly and maybe head towards Zoe's, not Zoe's, what do you call it, Taxon's Junction. So yeah, I'm coming up to Shabamu and head back to Taxon's Junction if nothing is this side. But it doesn't seem like she's popped out anywhere here. I think she might have taken refuge into this block, maybe heading a little bit further northeast. Riley, good afternoon. Yes, no, that does look very ominous, that sky for this afternoon. I fully agree. I think maybe I didn't do a leopard dance. I think I might have done a rain dance by accident. So yeah, but yeah, no, the sky does look a little bit ominous. But I don't think too much for us to really worry. Maybe it might be a couple of little showers during the tonight. But I don't think it's going to be anything too serious. But it's also, that's our change of season now. So our change of season, we are going to start getting those winds, those cold fronts that's going to start coming through. And especially those cold fronts coming through and all that, it's going to really push the cold weather. And usually when that first cold front is about to approach, we usually always get a little bit of a shower before that happens. And it's really kind of that whole change of the season. So I've got a feeling that could be what is going to transpire from this cloudy areas, and I think that actually today was windy, so definitely, and it's very humid. It's very close today, I think because of the cloud cover. Anyway, I think we should definitely go to a little bit further down. I think she might be walking in the block here, parallel to Philemon's cut line. I think she must be heading slowly along here. We just have to really keep a close eye. They're so well camouflaged, these leopards. And really to spot one now, it'll be fantastic. I'll be very, very happy. Just to have a cat for the afternoon. Well, I'm sure she was sitting at the treehouse dam the whole morning. The whole day until the drive. I'm sure she's very well rested. I think she's away from the cubs. So a lot of the hunting earlier this morning, I think she definitely had a good rest. And I think she's now well rested leopard again, which is very good. It's very important, I think. Yeah, that's right. I think I can try the Texans. Well, thanks very much for that comment on my leopard dance is definitely better than my mud wallowing. Yeah, I think so too. I think I shouldn't be a mud wallower. I think I should be more of a bush dancer. So it actually sounds funny, but yeah, I think it's. Well, we'll see what the outcome is. I'm not going to say anything too much now. Just now, we don't find anything, and then my leopard dance possible. I'm just going to stand off here. I'm just hearing some bird alarm calling now. Alright, I think... Yes, Gucci, definitely. Good afternoon. It is a gloomy sky for a gloomy day. I fully agree. I think the sky says it all. I think more than words. But definitely this grey colours. But it is pretty. It is really pretty. I think there's a real grey colour to this afternoon sunset sky. It's actually really pretty. I think I'm going to just go a little bit down further. I'm just going to go on Zoe's, and I just want to try and still follow up on Columba. And not Zoe's, what you call it, Watson's. Come on, girl, you should be around here. Beady-bee-bee. And definitely for tonight, I think with our beautiful sunset, or if you do have a sunset at home or anywhere, definitely raise a glass for the amazing Tandy that has been fantastic for us here in the northern Sabi Sands. I'm definitely going to be doing that tonight. Anyway, while we carry on, didn't see if any leopardess decides to pop out here for us. Hopefully Kelly is a little bit more successful than we are. Let's head to Kelly.
I couldn't agree more, Cedric. I couldn't find another gap for those elephants from earlier. So I'm now on Elephant Carcass, loitering with intent around this drainage line. I can see these tracks from yesterday, sort of taunting me to the fact that an entire pride of lions walked the whole length of the property in the heat of the day, but these are from yesterday. I did see some other tracks on Gary Main that looked like they were coming north. But I haven't checked anything else. So yeah, I'm just driving around enjoying the ambience, really. Ambience. Quite a reflective afternoon, I think. I think there's times to talk and then times to let the bush do the talking. think I will go back around towards Tulapan. I get a feeling that Mohawk went south this afternoon. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling. You watch, you'll turn up on quarantine now, going completely the other way. I'm just going to carry on cruising, listening, and doing some reflection, I think.
Spinning around in outer space, our planet gives life to the human race. Every day when WildEarth is out on drive, we see our Earth's beauty. We see her alive. We need our planet, that is true, but our planet needs us too. WildEarth will be celebrating Earth Day on the 22nd of April with a special safari live show.
We have got an epic battle going on between a pirate fly and a drop-tail ant. Look at that, look at that. So what's happening is these ants are moving from one side to another, and these pirate flies are trying to steal the baby ants.
Hukamore. Oh, here's an impressive looking male leopard. Look at that neck on him. He just looks ready for a fight.
This is only the third time that we are seeing him that is known as the Hukamori male, and he certainly has a lot of character and atmosphere.
This is gorgeous. Hukamuri having a drink at one of the little seasonal pans.
Isn't he absolutely gorgeous? Compact, powerful, focused. I love it.
Coming out of... Welcome back to Eco Training Pridelands. We're still up on Impala Plains, and at the moment we're watching a group of zebras, impalas, as well as some wildebeest. And the reason why I specifically positioned myself up here is that there was a single lioness which was stalking impalas here this morning. And the area over here provides optimal opportunity to come back and come and stalk again. Should it have been still a bright and sunny day, this would have actually been optimal because of the late afternoon sun, as well as the height that she would have had in her favor and a sufficient amount of concealment. This would have made for a great area to come and stalk. And at the moment, the breeze is also slightly blowing towards us, which would have helped, but that wouldn't smell her. But for now, our animals are so slowly grazing. And what we do find is that quite often the impalas will go and feed directly in the areas where the zebra has been feeding, as well as wildebeest. And its reason for that is simply they facilitate by removing more coarse grasses and then allowing the other species to come in and eat the softer grasses itself. We also see that it's not only that other herbivores will benefit one another, we also see some species will directly compete with one another, so therefore exclude one another from areas. One of the things that I do also find particularly interesting is when it does come to predation, but the presence of predators often forces animals out of these areas, providing the areas time to actually recover, but also to break certain parasite chains which might have formed if animals weren't pushed off. There's also a number of interesting theories when it does come to using domesticated animals such as cows. They actually have learned that you can also push them around and manage them as if they've been forced off by predators. And there they simply do the moving of the cows on a regular basis by pushing them off by means of horseback. They also put in a number of different species in those areas as well. And they've actually found that the quality of the grasses and the sustainability of those areas actually improved when it came to grasses, and they feed those cows for a much longer period of time on that specific land, as cows generally tend to overeat an area because there's no predator that will push it off. As one of the things that we also find is when it does come to predator and prey populations in an area, we see that predators manage the prey population very effectively, and a decline in prey species actually manages a predator population very effectively. As soon as the one goes up, the other one will go down. Always, where the one goes down, the other one will go up again. Good afternoon, Zoe, and welcome to the show. If they're super intelligent, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I can tell you that they've got phenomenally good eyesight. That's one of the things that I do find about them that's quite unique, and they can spot you a mile away. When it does come to animals that do show a large amount of intelligence, it's definitely elephant. Some of the other animals that also we find also shows a larger form of intelligence. It's also dolphins, and strangely enough, species such as octopus is also incredibly smart, as they can solve a number of puzzles. We're going to continue and go and see what else we can go and find. But for now, let's go and see what Cedric is up to on his bumble.
That is so true, JP. Definitely I heard about the octopus, how clever and how intelligent they are. Even how many times they can actually change their forms and color and even their skin texture, which is absolutely incredible. That is just amazing. I think there was one thing called, I can't remember what the documentary that's all about the octopus and how it was actually hiding itself using shells, like broken shells and all that, just to cover itself, and it actually looked like a little rock, which was absolutely amazing. Very clever animals. But yeah, clearly I'm not, clearly Tlalamba is being like an octopus today, or this afternoon, also being very clever, and of definitely giving us a run around here to try and see if we can locate her. I really thought I was hot on her tail, literally I was. But I think she was just not sticking to roads, and I think she cut through a block that, not as big as block, not the big block. I really thought it was going to pop out there. But I'm going to go ahead and still doing a little bit of a wider berth around the area. Just to see if I did miss on something, that at least I can start off from the fresher of tracks. But that was very fresh, as I said, it was on top of our vehicle tracks. And my boys. A couple of Impalas, all the male Impalas, all the guys are getting slowly but surely into high gear. So, sorry about this. Standing by. Negative. Just following up on my fuzzy Ingwe and Konzos around beyond Philemon's cut line in Taxon's Junction. Looks like maybe for Tlalamba. And that's about it on the updates. So, yeah. We're on Pangolin Road now, heading a little bit back onto the western areas. But the night is still very warm. It still hasn't really cooled down too much. I mean, I thought honestly with all this cloud cover for the day, it would cool down a little bit further this afternoon, but the temperature is very much still nice and warm. I reckon we should actually ask Kelly to do a dance as well. I think she must get some leaves or branches or something, and maybe she must also do a leopard dance for us. What do you folks think at home? I think that's a good idea. Let her do a leopard dance. Maybe her leopard dance is better than mine. Maybe she's luckier. Mine was just scary. I'm going to go further up on Weaver's Nest. Let's head to Kelly, and she's going to jump in the mud wallow.
Don't keep trying. Cedric, you know I'm highly competitive, don't you? But I'm not doing a leopard dance to find you a leopard. I'm sorry, it's just not happening. Although it's tempting, but I'm not dancing to find you a leopard. I have come back to my puddle on Ingwe Alley. I'm feeling a little bit vulnerable, actually. We don't know where that lion ended up, and it's getting dark. And I feel quite small and insignificant here. So I think it was like 3 days ago, I was harping on about how quickly this water level was going to drop. So I've come back to prove a point. This was my line I drew in the mud that was at the water's edge. I think it was 2 days ago, 2.5 days ago. And look where the water level is now. I'm going to draw another line in this mud. And look at the difference there. So this was the line from just 2 days ago. And look how quickly this has dropped. I didn't take note of how sticky it was over that side before. So that is a huge drop in just 2.5 days. So I'm going to make this line today. That's the line from the other day. Let's just make sure it's nice and deep. Alrighty, I'm going to leave my very specially crafted line drawing stick here. And we shall visit again another day. It is tempting to do a leopard dance, but I'm not dancing for Cedric's leopard. I'm going to make my way back. I also found a feather, but it's wet. So I'm going to wait for this feather to dry out. And then I think we'll have to try and work out what this is together, because I don't know. Clara, I know, hey? It's, you know, we always say, oh, look at the dropping water level. But it's actually really nice to be able to prove it and to be able to see it. I found quite a manky feather, but I'm going to wait for it to dry out, and I think when it dries out, it could be quite pretty. So I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to go back to Cheetah Pan, because I haven't proven that the lion's gone. So let me move my radio. I'm going to put my slightly manky but potentially very pretty feather there to dry and carry on towards Cheetah Pan again. very interesting to see how quickly that does drop though. And it might rain tonight. If it rains, then we can look and see how much it's risen. I really wanted to go back and look for Cammy the frog this afternoon, but we don't need to go every day. I am incredibly invested in that frog now. I find it fascinating, and I don't know if anyone managed to get shots of just how much that colour's changed. I did take photos. Absolutely crazy, the colour change, and the fact that, oh, if she's there tomorrow, that's going to be a week. If Cammy is still there tomorrow, I'll definitely go in the morning. I shouldn't say that. I might get sidetracked with leopards or... Ooh, nearly lost my feather. With leopards or trees or bugs or something else. But I'm definitely going to put it on my to-do list for first thing tomorrow morning. If it's not pouring with rain. No one else has found that. I'm consoling myself with the fact that no one else has found that lion. So I'm going to drift back to Chirapan and we will cross our fingers.
I think there's just so many wonderful things about elephants, and because they've got large space requirements, when you're conserving elephants, you're automatically conserving all the other smaller species that share the landscape with them. In 1996, my mother and I started drawing individual elephant ear patterns, so that's the margin of the ears.
Elephants Alive is a South African-based NGO that conducts research on elephants and works where elephants go. Elephants have taken us from South Africa to Zimbabwe, Mozambique and Eswatini as they forge vital corridors connecting protected areas at landscape level.
We've been going for 25 years, collaring elephants, developing individual elephant IDs, and we've also got a really big project where we protect large trees from elephant impact. And then we've also got various community outreach.
Our aim is to ensure the survival of elephants and their habitats and to promote harmonious coexistence between elephants and people.
Find a way into the kill to eat, get their fill in there as well. But they're also going to be told off. See, lions are not great at sharing their food. Let me just taking frustration out on the other lion, but you see it was interesting.
I was taught to track by my grandfather. His name was called Jack Shitola, the first tracker in Sabi Sand, who the first tracker to habituate leopard. Tracking is my favorite part of my guiding experience, because if you don't track, you would never find yourself having joy on the guiding experience itself. It's one of the best tools that you need to have. I'm being good on tracking because it's something that I've started while I was a young boy up to adulthood. My tips to all new guides: we have to respect the wildlife.
Welcome back, everybody. Because it was a bit of a grey day due to the news of Tandy, let's do, if anybody's keen, let's do a FOSS 5 on questions on Tandy. Please send your questions to me and let's see what I've got to answer. It'll be a good one. Let's see. Anyway, see something there, Odie? Nothing. I think she's definitely given us the Tandy slip or Lalamba. Unless she might have cut across just a little section and went straight into this drainage line towards Rebecca's. That's another thing I'm thinking about, because it was very close to the junction of Philemon's cut line. Let's take a look around here. Birds calling around that side. She had to pop out. She would have popped out on this little section here. If she did, I think there's some areas that's very hard here. I think she might have come through straight into that side. But let's. I'm going to loop around. I think it'll be the best. I'll loop around maybe towards Zoe's, towards Rebecca's again. It'll be always the best thing. And of course, while I'm at it and while I'm sort of searching around, I'm just going to look around, maybe because it is getting a little bit dark now. Hopefully we can pick up on some nocturnal animals, maybe even an owl or two. I'm just hoping for that. I think that side, yeah, no, she cut in from that side. She cut in there, so it's not too, I think she crossed over. Anyway, let's go around. I haven't seen a genet yet. I'm very keen to see a genet, a little cat-like animal that usually sits in the tree. Very beautiful as well, really kind of like a creamish coat with the little black spots on them. Large spotted or the small spotted genets. We actually get both of them around here, but the small spotted genet is one that we least see. And the more common one is your large spotted genet in this area. They're always in the trees. Not big. I mean, like this, the size of if you can think of a slender mongoose. Not really that big, about so big. But little ferocious little things as well. I'll take a look. All right. If you also want to know how to really spot the difference between a large spot and a small spotted, large spot has got a little white tip. Suggestion, any? I don't get that question, sorry, Owen. Oh, tick repellent. Oh, sorry. Yes, there's some things. Yes, but yeah, there is. Sorry about that. I just didn't pick up on the comms properly there. But tick repellents in the bush. If you're looking at something maybe like turpentine grass. Turpentine grass to me is also one of the things, I don't use it, I actually use normal tick repellent because, I don't know, ticks love me. Mosquitoes don't love me, but ticks love me. My pepper ticks, whenever I go bushwalking, come out riddled with ticks. But I know the guys, I've heard about turpentine grass. You can actually use turpentine grass to smear on your legs as well to kind of just hopefully repel any ticks that's coming onto you. As I said, I don't think that'll really work for me and all that. I think as well there is the wild sage. The wild sage you can also use the leaves, but I just heard down the line. I'm not too sure exactly if that is the case. But unfortunately, yeah, as I said, if there's 1,000 mosquitoes in the room, not one will bite me. If there's 1,000 ticks in that room, every tick will come for me. Trust me, I don't know. I'm a magnet to any ticks. I used to end up with end of my cycles coming through the bushes and then used to go on leave, and sometimes used to go visit the parents down in the Western Cape, and my legs would be covered in tick bites. It looked like I had measles. It wasn't really a pretty sight. But I've had tick bite fever as well quite a few times. The time I did get tick bite fever, it just became milder and milder and milder. Now if I do really get tick bite fever, it's more just a headache or glands that swell. But other than that, I don't really get to that fever side of things, which is very fortunate. But you also get different strains of ticks. So yeah, that's another thing. But I mean, I know that your Buntu ticks or your rhino ticks are really the ones that will, if you don't find them in time, you're going to have a proper bite mark. Actually, the most irritating ones is actually your little pepper ticks, so, you know, like little pepper grains, as fine as pepper grains. So you'll find that those ticks you cannot see really that much, and if you walk through a pepper nest, most probably for the next 2-3 days, you can actually feel them crawling, like, you know, very small, so feeling them crawling up, and you're like picking them off one by one, and like sometimes, like for me, thousands on my legs. So yeah, not the most pleasant, but well, just to get used to it. It's one of those things. Just have to. All right, so now I'm at Zoe's junction with Philemon's cut line. I think I'm going to head up a little bit north up Zoe's. I know this is Shadulu's area. Shadulu likes using this area and using this road for moving up and down. It's pretty much almost a boundary to her territory, or yeah, boundary to her territory. So I'm just hoping we can at least see if something's around here. Anyway, while we continue up Zoe's, let's head up to Kelly. She's heading to Chelapan and see what she's got that side for you.
I have made my way back to Chelapan. I do not know where Mohawk has gone or where he is now. Oh, hello, bird. So I've decided just to spend the rest of the afternoon here at Chelapan. And what I'm going to ask you to do is please send through your memories or thoughts about Tandy. If you send them through, then I will try and mention as many of them as I can before the end of the show. It's a really nice opportunity. This Mohawk might still be here, he might still come for a drink. But I think it's a really nice opportunity to just sit. And I can imagine that Tandy's death has really affected lots of people out there. So I think it's a nice time to share those cherished memories that you have of this incredibly special cat. tiger owl. I can imagine that was fabulous. Talamba sneaking up on Tandy and then pouncing. It's so nice to see these interactions between mothers and daughters, or mothers and cubs, and they teach them so much. What a lovely memory to send through. Thank you, Tiger Owl. Shreya, 18th of October last year, Tandy managed to steal the kill back from Corky. How lovely. I'm sure you have very special memories of interactions between all of the characters here, being a part of their lives for so long. What a joy, what a luxury. Thank you for your comment. I'm going to stay here for the rest of the drive. Feel free to keep sending your comments through. We will get through as many of them as we can. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and enjoy the peace.
All WildEarth explorers have a chance to join our naturalists in a monthly fireside chat. This is a great way to learn more about our guides, animal characters, and wildlife locations. We would love to hear from you as to the topics that interest you the most. Email us your ideas or tweet using the hashtag WildEarth, and we will be sure to take them into account when planning our evenings around the fire in the future. WildEarth explorers, it's in your nature.
My heart rate has gone up slightly. In fact, it's gone up quite a lot. This elephant is now 2 meters from us. Okay, we might have to move here. No? Yes. Sorry, my friend, but you're about to push that onto the car. You see how cross he was that we didn't want to watch him push the tree over. That's why we moved.
Look at that, there's a tiny, tiny leopard cub. Kruger has given birth overnight. Look at the little guy, we just came around the corner. That is incredible, that's probably his first solo kill.
Oh, and have a look, here comes Osana with the monitor lizard.
Osana, of course, at the same time decided to go climbing up the tree. He's just nearly fallen out of it again.
Look at that, he's running away. The buffalo is chasing Osana at the moment. Run away from this very big animal coming. That was so funny.
Welcome everybody, welcome back. I'm just still here on Rebecca's, trying to get through this area, still in search of the lumber. But so far, as I say, this is definitely Leopard number 1, Cedric 0. Definitely.
Perfect.
Thank you.
I think she's gone straight. I think she's headed straight back east. And we didn't maybe missed out on a track or two that I didn't see. But it happens. It all happens.
I've got a signal. I've got no signal.
Yep.
Got 4G.
I've got 4 cool.
And the clouds have lifted a little bit. It's not too bad. At least there's no rain. Whoops. Nothing that dips here. Nothing. Sorry, I thought I saw something. Right. Nothing here. Oh, I'll head back onto. Well, let's continue. Let's head to JP. I think he has found some lions in Pridelands.
Welcome back to Pridelands. And at the moment we managed to locate part of an Ngati breakaway group. So that's a group of 2 females as well as 4 sub-adults. We're just going to sit and watch them for a little bit and see what they're going to get up to. There's quite a few vehicles that are interested in coming into the sighting, and there is also currently 3 vehicles with us in the site, 2 vehicles with us in the sighting. That's just unfortunately how we're going to determine how we're going to position our vehicle. It's always important as guides. You must learn to share when it comes to sightings. And quite often we do find that guides do often hide sightings. And that behavior definitely gets you caught out and definitely doesn't build a friendly relationship between you and the team members with who you work with. Because there's days that you're going to be out there where you're going to battle as a guide to find animals, and in return people are going to find animals for you in that point. I actually haven't seen this group now for quite a few days. I think it's almost a week since I've last seen them. I'm really happy to actually have a quick glimpse of them before it gets dark, and then we're going to have to unfortunately leave them. I was actually wondering where they are because we have actually been looking for their tracks specifically in this area. For some reason they actually like this area here. And generally when they do come into the area, they tend to hang around here for quite a few days. Good afternoon, Beth, and welcome to the show, and thank you so much for the compliment. Once again, that compliment unfortunately has to go to one of the other vehicle stations which actually managed to locate him and then called us to let us know that we can come and have a quick look at them. It seems that our lionesses are now all getting up. I'm sure the remainder of the group will start following very soon, and then we'll quickly see what they're going to get up to. I think that's a whole group. I'm just going to quickly slowly follow them. I'm going to give them some distance, but we don't push them. And when we do get the opportunity where we can pass them at some point, it will be great to actually just pop ahead and quickly go ahead and view them from the front. Oh, there's another one. It's roughly at this time of the day we generally find that lions become active again, and it's nice and cool and overcast, so therefore they are going to become a bit active a little bit earlier than normal. And the reason is it's nice and cool, you can actually start hunting earlier and you're not going to lose as much heat and energy through heat if it was when it's incredibly warm. Lions don't do very well with hunting on warm conditions. However, I have seen them actually hunting up until the middle of the day in winter. And apparently statistics claim that they can actually, but 96% of all their kills are actually at night time. Some of the features that we can really see very well at the moment: black tip to the tail, black ears as well. And this is also very important for them as following mechanisms. Good evening, Boo, and welcome to the show. Yeah, they're stunning. I like the two lionesses in the group, and it's amazing how quickly these sub-adults are starting to grow now. It seems that they're taking a rest. I'm just going to stop over here and watch how one that's busy looking at us. I'm just going to put my head down. This one tends to be the one that always falls back behind the group, and quite often if you do position further ahead, the rest of them are very confident when they walk past the vehicle. And this one sometimes tends to jump a little bit when it actually walks past the vehicle or takes a very wide loop around the vehicle. It's interesting to see the different levels of confidence which they actually display. It's actually great to see them because I've heard so much lion calls over the last few days, and especially at night time when you wake up in your tent at night and you hear those calls, and they can travel very far. Just to give you a rough idea, a lion's call can travel approximately some 8 kilometers in distance, and that's for the human ear, and for them they can hear one another actually much further. It's also interesting is that lions can actually count, and they can identify specific calls of specific individuals, and therefore they know that there's either 2 or 3 individuals which is calling from a territory. And if you know that you're a single male, then you don't go and mess around in that territory because they might end up being killed. In their case, if you're a large number of males and you know that there's only 3 calling in the group and you 5, it's definitely worthwhile to go and actually make havoc in your neighbors' territories. The reason why they do that, they outcompete one another for both territory as well as resources in terms of food. And we often find that when it does come to males, they have actually territories which encompasses some 2 to 3 different groups of females. But generally it's, hey, there's one climbing a tree. I'm just going to quickly put the vehicle on the side there. You can watch him. There's a second one trying to climb a tree. Oh, that's awesome. I'm just going to also give a gap for the other vehicles to come in and come have a look. It's not common to see lions climb. Many people will tell you they don't, and I've seen plenty of them in trees. That the process of getting down isn't always so elegant. I've seen big male lions retrieving a kill from a tree which a leopard hoisted, and in the process almost seriously injuring themselves as they came down. Some of the reasons why I've seen them climbing trees in the past is to escape flies that want to bite them. Eventually they'll climb up into a tree, but that breeze can also cool themselves at the down which is up in the top of a tree. And then other times also to retrieve food from leopards. And then in times I've also seen them being pushed up into trees by buffalo, who they got on the wrong side of. Good evening, Jenna, and welcome to the show. It is a pretty amazing thing to see. It's not every day that you see a lion in a tree. Now let's watch him getting down. We're getting a little bit stuck now. Some of the other species that I've also seen climbing trees very quickly is actually cheetah, especially when a group of wild dogs are chasing them, and they're not supposed to climb trees either. But I've also seen them urine marking and defecating on top of branches and obstacles that are quite high off the ground. And the reason is that the scent therefore can travel much further. when it comes to demarcating territories by means of scent. Let's watch him for a little bit longer and see how he manages to get down that tree. While we're watching our lion attempting to get down the tree, let's go and see what Cedric and his hyenas are up to.
Welcome back. We do have those two male hyenas. Looks like Swazi and Bele. If I'm not mistaken, I'm just double checking. If I am, please correct me on this one. Oh, hello. Hello. Hopefully this one doesn't come and bite my leg, yeah? Yes. And it's still beautiful. Hey, don't eat my shoe. Don't bite my shoe. No. I know that you take a bite of my shoe, then it's not going to be a good thing. I'm going to lose another shoe to you. Thank you. Move on. Bye-bye. Of course, the two of them just patrolling the young males. Ah, fantastic. Oh, well, at least they had a little walk by. I think they're on their way on a mission again. Most probably heading towards the campsite, that area and the surroundings. Also just in search of a little meal. Hopefully scavenge from a killer that's just happened or is going to happen tonight. You never know. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Let's decided to. Looks like they're heading into a drainage line now. Let's move on. Wow, that's cool. That was a good little bit of a show for at least some hyenas for this afternoon. Everything else has eluded us in many ways. But that's fine. Sometimes you've got to enjoy the other side of the vegetation of the bushveld. You've got to enjoy a bit of entertainment. You've got to just take in what you see. So there's never a dull moment in the sands. There's never a dull moment.
Over the past year, many WildEarth explorers have won life-changing travel prizes.
Today, I was told I have won the most amazing prize to go to Maritaba. I can't believe it.
I am most excited to meet some of the guides.
The animals, the birds, and everything else it has to offer. We can't wait to go.
I would love to take my little grandson up with me on this experience to Finda.
WildEarth has brought so much to my life, and I am thrilled and grateful to have this opportunity.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to visit.
Thank you very much for this amazing prize, WildEarth.
Sign up to be an explorer today, and you will be entered into a monthly draw which could see you jetting off to a dream location in 2022. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
Free Me Wildlife as an organization is a value-adding service to the communities of KwaZulu-Natal. We are a professional wildlife rehabilitation centre. We work with compromised indigenous wildlife, and our whole goal is to return these animals back into the wild as wild animals. To get involved with this initiative, go to our Facebook page, Free Me Wildlife. Alternatively, you can go directly to our website, freemewildlife.org. We hope you get involved, and thank you so much for your care and support out there.
But I think that's him. I think that's the one I must. Okay, this is getting serious now. I knew there was going to be trouble. Too many bulls and must over one herd.
For me, my favorite animal has been a leopard since I was a little boy, and being able to actually photograph them out here in the wild has been a dream of mine ever since. So really happy to be back on Impala, catch up with all the animals that, you know, I've followed around for 8 years already. Watch them grow, watch them through their triumphs, their victories, their losses, mourn with them. It's been absolutely phenomenal.
Welcome back. You're still sitting here at Quarantine Open. Looking out for any eyes. You never know. Looking for any nocturnal animals. All right, it's yeah. Let's see what questions I got for my Fast 5 for Tandy. Tandy's Fast 5. Lira. Good evening. Shava, the ones that still are around at the moment. Okay, well that's Welcome back. Sorry about that, everybody. A little bit of technical issues, a couple of gremlins that crept into our system. But anyway, we're going to continue with our Tandy's Fast 5. So, of course, I was asked, Tandy's, how many cubs does Tandy have in her time? I worked out about maybe 6 or 7. So I think 7 max, but that's actually 6 surviving cubs. Jeez. No, sorry, yeah, Bobby is inside. So it's 5 surviving cubs. But anyway, yeah, next question. I think that's... Djuma, good evening. My favorite memory of Tandy. I think, sure, there's so many fantastic moments with Tandy. I think I explained, I think I spoke about it the other day with Tandy, that when we went tracking myself, and we went up to an area there, to eastern area called Nkoro, and we actually found the little cubs inside the drainage line close to Djuma. It was called Djuma Old Driveway back in the days, that side. And that was, of course, Wabahiza and its sibling, but the sibling did not survive. Wabahiza did, but of course eventually got killed by the stick sprite. But it was my favorite moment of finding those little ones, and Tandy was not too far from them as well. So that was a special moment for me. Yes. Did you get that one? There you go. Father ever confirmed with Grumpy old man, thank you very much for the question. Was Tandy's father ever confirmed with DNA? I don't think so. I know that your Don was in the area at that time when Tandy was born with Shadow. I think your Don was the dominant male and it was Tandy's father, if I'm not mistaken, in the northern areas from this side. But I don't think it was ever confirmed. I don't think DNA for leopards at that time was really around. But great question, sure. Avril, good evening. My favorite Tandy and cub interaction was definitely, I think, down in a place called the Nets, when she still had the 2 little cubs. I think that was when Bahuti was around. She was really much always lying on the rocks just south of a Nets camp. And of course, those cubs she really took care of those cubs. She was a really good mother at that time, or she's always been a good mother, but it's just that bond between those 2 little cubs and her was just absolutely mind-blowing. It was one of my best female leopards with cub sightings ever, because it was the interaction between everything and the running around, and just the bond between them was fantastic. James Richard, good evening. Yes, my first sighting of Tandy, definitely, because she was the first leopard I saw here in the northern Sabi Sands in 2010, beginning of 2010. And that was still on Nkoro Driveway. And I still remember going out before I even started driving guests at that time. I was still learning the roads and the know-hows on that area. And we bumped into her, of course, coming down the driveway, and I was ecstatic. I thought this was the most amazing thing, and since then it was pretty much the leopard that I enjoyed from 2010. So it was a special moment. Yeah, she was a special cat to me. So yeah, thanks, James Richard.
At WildEarth, our explorers are treated to a weekly newsletter, bursting with fascinating features and never-seen-before snippets. Recently, we have added some brand new sections which we think you will love. Find out what happens behind the scenes with our crew when they are not live on WildEarth. Have a giggle at our moments of the week from both Safari and Penguin Beach. And Ranger Eric answers your questions with fascinating and in-depth explanations as to the whys and hows of nature.
Wild dogs coming out of, or the puppies coming out of the den site making those very high-pitched noises.
All of this and more delivered to your inbox every week. So what are you waiting for? Head over to our website, sign up to be an explorer, and join the adventure. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature. Spinning around in outer space, our planet gives life to the human race. Every day when WildEarth is out on drive, we see our Earth's beauty, we see her alive. We need our planet, that is true, but our planet needs us too. WildEarth will be celebrating Earth Day on the 22nd of April with a special Safari live show.
Myself and Sebastian were looking for the Birmingham Pride sub-adults, and we just found them stealing a hoisted baby Impala carcass out of a tree. This is incredible. It's the first time I've seen one of these youngsters. Whoa! Quite a good chunk there. Nearly fell out doing it. She might fall backwards. She's actually lowering herself down the trees. It's the first time I've seen a lion do that in person.
Well, what a stroke of luck. We just had a beautiful roar. He is quite far away on the other side of Twin Dams, but I'm going to guess this is Mohawk. Please let me know. I'm gonna stay silent and let's cross our fingers and see if he'll call again. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Thank you, Tom. A very emotional drive. I'm going to focus this camera back on this line and see if he's going to call. We look forward to you joining us tomorrow morning for our sunrise drive.